Aloha kakayaka kako and susade. And welcome to the WASSP committee meeting of Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. It is 9:04 a.m. I'm Shane Sinensi, your committee chair. Joining us today in the chambers is Councilmember Tom Cook. Aloha and susade.
Aloha susade, and there's no testifiers in the Kihei office.
Okay, mahalo for that. Also in the chambers, we have Pro Tem Tasha Kama. Aloha kakahiaka.
Aloha kakahiaka chair and Susa Day. Looking forward to a wonderful meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Also in the chambers, we have Council Chair Alice Lee. Aloha and Susa Day.
Aloha Chair and Susa Day all the way from Cambodia.
Thank you. Also in the chambers, we have Council Member Tamara Paulton. Aloha kakahiaka, Susa Day.
Sub Chair Sinensi, Aloha kakahiaka, and Susa Day kako.
Thank you. Joining us online, I presume from Molokai, we have Council Member Kiani Rollins Fernandez. Aloha kakahiaka.
Ai polole, aloha kakahiaka, my Molokai no Yahina. I'm at my private residence alone, and there are currently no testifiers at the Molokai District Office. Mahalo, Chair.
Mahalo for joining us. Also joining us online is Council Member Yukile Sugimura from the Northeast, the North. Aloha and good morning.
Yep, I'm in mommy heaven, so I'm in Chicago, calling you from my son's home, and looking forward to a productive meeting.
Okay, glad you could join us. And also joining us in the chambers is Councilmember Nohelani U'uhajins. Aloha and Susade.
Aloha, Chair. Susade.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. From the Department of Human Concerns, we have Director Lori Suhako. She'll join us later. Also from the Mayor's Office, we have Homeless Coordinator Naomi Crozier. Aloha and good morning. Thanks for being here. From Corporation Counsel, we have Ms. Yukari Murakami. Aloha and good morning. And members, our committee staff that's helping us to conduct this meeting, we have Ms. Griselda Paranata. Aloha. Ms. Clarissa McDonald. Ms. Ellen McKinley. Ms. Megan Moniz. Ms. Leigh Deneen and Ms. Jean Pokipala. Welcome, everyone. Okay, members, on today's agenda, we have two items. Resolution 25-50, approving the appointment of Jonathan Likeke Shoyer to the East Maui Regional Community Board, and a pilot project using county parking lots for human habitation update. So we have testifiers. Okay, well, let's begin with public testimony. Oral testimony via phone or video conference will be accepted. In accordance with the Sunshine Law, testimony can occur at the beginning of the meeting, but cannot be limited to the start of the meeting. The chair will receive oral testimony for agenda items at the beginning of the meeting, and as the item is called up on the agenda. Testifiers wanting to provide video or audio testimony should sign up in the chamber, join the online meeting via the Teams link, or call in to the phone number noted on today's agenda. For individuals wishing to testify via Teams, please raise your hand by clicking on the raise your hand button. And for those calling in, please follow the prompts via phone. *5 to raise and lower your hand, and *6 to mute and unmute. Staff will add names to the testifier list in the order testifiers sign up or raise their hands. And for those on Teams, staff will lower your hand once your name is added. Staff will then enable your microphone and video and call the name you're logged in under, or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your time to testify. Written testimony is encouraged and can be submitted via the e-comment link at mauicounty.us/agendas. Oral testimony is limited to 3 minutes per item and will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and prior to the committee's deliberation on each item on the agenda. If you're still testifying beyond that time, I will kindly ask you to complete your testimony. We ask that you state your full name and organization, but if you prefer to testify anonymously, staff will identify and refer you as testifier and assign you a number. Please also indicate the agenda item or items you're testifying on. Once you're done testifying, or if you do not, wish to testify, you can view the meeting on Akako Channel 53, Facebook Live, or mauicounty.us/agendas. Again, thank you for your cooperation in advance. The chair will be maintaining decorum at all times during the meeting. And committee members, I'll now proceed with oral testimony. Staff, can you please call the first testifier?
Chair, the first testifier is Lisa Darcy, to be followed by the caller with the last four digits 0555.
Good morning, Ms. Darcy. You want to do after the second item? Can she testify before the second item? Okay, we'll put you on the list. Thanks for being here. Ms. McKinley.
Chair, the next testifier is the person calling in with the last four digits 0555, to be followed by Mike Moran.
Aloha, it's Josette with Island Health, and I was testifying with the Safe Parking Program.
Hello, Ms. Sullivan.
Aloha. How are you, Council Member Sinensi? Am I testifying now or on the second half?
You can testify now.
Okay. I'm just testifying that we have Island Health in Kihei, and we are also working with the YMCA that's opening in Lahaina, and we're looking forward to the parking lot. We think that this is a fantastic opportunity for our Ohana to find overnight shelter. And so I'm just here if anyone has any questions for me.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sullivan. Members, we have a question for you from members Yukile Sugimura.
Thank you. This is great news. The YMCA in by Keopulani Park used to open up their parking space for those that needed it, and I think also let them use the facilities to have a shower. Is that the kind of plan that you're also establishing for West Maui?
For now, Council Member, what we're a part of a huge provider network there at the YMCA. There's not a lot of parking space there. Some of the things that they are doing is adding showers, and there's also adding different like meditation grounds and things along those lines. What's nice is it's around affordable housing currently. So we will be offering services for behavioral health, and all the services there at the YMCA are at no charge. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Chair, if you don't mind, could I ask for the contact information from the testifier?
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Sullivan? We have a question for you from Member Bolton.
If she's available, can we have her as a resource when the item comes up?
Any objections to having Ms. Sullivan as a resource for the second item, members?
No objections.
Okay.
Mahalo.
Okay, Ms. McKinley, can you please call the next testifier?
Chair, the next testifier is Mike Moran, to be followed by Francis Quitazol.
Aloha, Mr. Moran.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Aloha, Chair Sinensi and committee members. Mike Moran for the Kihei Community Association. I'd like to speak on both items this morning. On the first one, I guess the logical question is, what the heck does the South Maui organization have to do with item number one? Well, it has to do with the individual, Dr. Shura. NCA has had an award that we have instituted about 15 years ago. It's called the Kihei Community Association Willy Willy Warrior Award. And it's, briefly, it's the Willy Willy Warrior Award recognizes individuals whose community service goes beyond the ordinary and embraces the embodiment of KCA's mission, Imalama Pono, dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and enhancing our Aina, Kai, and Ohana. And it's not an annual award. It's some years we don't have anybody. Other years we have multiple award winners. But one thing that has been pretty consistent since our first one, there are almost always people in South Maui. Once in a while, it's someone that's in Maui County, but beyond our district. But before this, it's never been anybody who was off island. And this award was given to Dr. Schur a couple of years ago for all the help that he has given our community, as he does in other communities, starting with his years on the Estate Land Use Commission. The yeoman's work he did on the what we call the Mega Mall, which is rearing its head again, and also with the pedestrian access to our new high school, which was required by the LUC and was never done. So that was just a few of the things that he participated in. So we just want to express our strong support for Dr. Schur and just to show some of the many things he's done way beyond this one particular journey that he's going for this morning. So that wraps up that testimony, Chair. Should I continue or pause?
Hold on, Mr. Moran. Any questions for the first item? Okay, go ahead and to your second item.
Thank you, sir. Second item, several years ago, this issue came up about the a safe parking place, and it seemed like a reasonable thing for that. As we all know, too often homeless people have one concept of that, whatever their own concept is. And we know it's a wide-ranging group of people. And when we saw that, we saw a few examples of that tragic situation. Here we have a family, both parents working. They have school-age children going to school. Everything about a normal family, except somehow they became houseless and they're living in a vehicle. And the challenges that presents to all of them, the keiki going to school, where do you live? Kids don't want to say, I live in a car with my parents. So it embarrasses them, puts them in a difficult position. And the whole situation is precarious because there's no safe place for the family to park the vehicle. They're either getting rousted by the police telling them that you can't legally park here, or they're in fear of bad guys holding them up, attacking them, whatever. So this seemed like a great idea. And the last we saw, the past mayor seemed to be going to put it in right next to the police station in Waibuku. And then all at once, it just kind of disintegrated and went away. So we're very glad to see this is coming back. We realize you're not taking action on it today. We think it's a great thing to explore again, and hopefully we can help that one segment, very needy segment of our houseless community. So thank you for bringing this back this morning. Malo.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moran. Members, any questions for Mr. Moran? Seeing none. Okay, thank you for your testimony this morning. And,
Leo.
okay, I was just reminded by staff to ask that if there are no objections to Ms. Sullivan being a resource for the second item under 18A of the rules of the council.
No objections, Chair.
Chair, could we please have her first name for the record?
Ms. Sullivan, can you state your full name for the record? She might have dropped off for now. We'll get it.
She just may have to unmute herself. That should be *5 on the phone.
Oh, she's on the phone.
Oh, unless she just dropped. Can wait for her to come back and ask again.
There she is.
I see her. She just
Oh,
unmuted
fantastic.
herself.
Okay.
My name is Josette Sullins, and it's Sullins.
Okay. Thanks, Josette.
Sorry, I couldn't get my phone to work.
No worries. And then I also see Mr. Noah Jackson. He's also joining us from the mayor's office for our second item. Ms. McKinley, you want to go ahead and call the next testifier?
Chair, currently the last person signed up to testify is Francis Kitazal.
Aloha, Mr. Kirazal.
Chair, he's unmuted on our end.
Sorry, I just unmuted, and I guess I got control of the mic. Sorry about that. Aloha, Chair Sinensi and members. Thank you guys for allowing the opportunity to testify for item 1, resolution 25-50. I was appointed by the East Maui Water Authority to present the letter that we presented to you guys, and it'll be submitted to you guys today. Unfortunately, I was supposed to be there in person, but so I'm gonna read remotely, and because I had a schedule conflict. On behalf of the East Maui Water, the Ahavai o Maui Hikina, we strongly urge your support for the reappointment of Dr. Jonathan Likelike Shure as the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's representatives to this board. Since our inception, Dr. Shure has excelled in his role as board chair, demonstrating exemplary performance and unwavering dedication to the voters of Maui County. Despite residing on the island of Oahu, he consistently prioritizes his responsibilities by being physically present at all meetings. He skillfully sets aside personal feelings to guarantee a fair and balanced perspective, guiding this board in fulfilling our essential duties as outlined by the Maui County Charter. His ability to unite us and foster teamwork is a testament to his leadership skills. Dr. Shure's extensive knowledge of Hawaii's history, particularly concerning water law and stewardship of our precious water resources, has been indispensable in establishing the Ahavai o Maui Hikina and the East Maui Water Authority. One of our board members aptly referred to him as a reflection of a little light in the sky that serves as a guide to be followed. In traditional times, such an individual would have been revered as an ali'i, a guiding light that ensures the community not only survives but thrives. In conclusion, we firmly believe that reappointing Dr. Shure to this board is essential to ensuring that watersheds in the Ko'olau and the natural water resources of East Maui are preserved, protected, and sustained for current residents of Maui and future generations. We expect your unwavering support for his appointment. Mahalo, the Ahavai o Maui Hikina East Maui Regional Community Board members. Thank you.
Mahalo, Mr. Kirazal, and you'll be sending that letter in to the committee? Are you already?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. Any questions for Mr. Kirazal? Seeing none. Thank you for your testimony this morning. Ms. McKinley?
Chair, no one else has signed up to testify at the beginning of the meeting. If anyone would like to testify at this time, please raise your hand with the raise your hand function on Teams, or approach the podium now.
JC Law.
Aloha, Mr. Law.
Aloha Kakahiaka. When you ask if anybody raised their hand, if they had a question, a member of the audience that didn't testify yet, he raised his hand, and I was just wanted to help him out and let him know that he can ask a question at the podium right now. But they don't have to answer you, but somebody, Luna Ho'omolu Sinensi will probably help you out if you wanted to come up. And the reason I come to these meetings because I like to be here personally, like the guy just said, and sometimes we actually get to meet the members of the boards and commissions that are appointed. That's it.
Any questions for Mr. Law, members? Seeing none, mahalo for your testimony.
Chair, no one else has signed up to testify at this time. If anyone would like to testify at the beginning of the meeting.
Mahalo nui loa. O kahaku koinoa. My name is Lawrence Kahakua Singh. I am a resident of Pu'uhonua Onene here, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for letting us. I really enjoy the hot water and the meals. Woo, the food stay on, bro. I had just had a question about, is EMI still tapping water off of that? EMI, East Maui Irrigation?
And
also, no, that's all right. Thank you so much. Mahalo.
Okay. Mahalo, members. Any questions for the testifier? Thank you for joining us this morning.
If anyone else would like to testify, this is your opportunity. Please approach the podium.
It looks like Lisa will testify now.
Mahalo, Chair. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Darcy. I'm the founder of Share Your Mana, and I changed my mind. So I think what I'd like to do today is testify on the safe parking, which is the second agenda item today. And I just want to provide a little bit of context and education for this project. If most of you don't know, haven't seen me over the last 20 years in here trying to educate and testify to bring a lot of information about people who are living unhoused. Then I'm going to try and drop it down, and I got 2 minutes left. So here's kind of what happened. I worked with Kelly King, our advisory committee, and we have some of the advisory committee members here today, to create a safe parking. As the former executive director at Ho'omoana, we created a campsite which was going to integrate people who were living unhoused. It's been caught up in court litigation for many years. So Councilmember King and our team put together a project which integrates the language and the needs of individuals who are going through this here on Maui. So when I saw that there was the resources that are being used are from off island, I want to caution and educate this body again to say, please use the people who have been doing this, who have been going through this, that know how to make it successful. And I know how unpopular I am. And I could even go as far as say as highly disliked I am. And I appreciate that, and I understand it. I very much understand it. But what we do is we ask the difficult questions, and we take the hurt that so many people have had for many years. We digest it, and we try and actually put it into a place where we can all work together. You're going to need people like that to do this work. The previous testifier said that he's supporting somebody because they skillfully set aside personal feelings. I don't usually even witness that in this group here. And if this team has so much difficulty setting aside some personal things to focus on the issues, you're going to need people like Share Your Mana, because we are not offended by that. We understand it. It does hurt. We sting. We cry like everyone else. We mourn like everyone else almost every day that things get taken and the harm that happens. And yet we show up every day in hope that this team, who has the capacity to form somewhere safe, do the first of its kind here. We depend on you to set your difficulties aside. And last Friday, we were in this chamber holding signs. We did not even know this meeting was happening today. We had just said we've got to start showing up and being seen. We have hope. There are a lot of days I talk people off the ledge. They don't have hope. It happens every day. I understand the ledge. I've been on the ledge. We're fighting for our lives. We need safe sleeping now. This is fundamental. It's a human right. It's a human need. I really, really want to encourage this body as this project goes forward to not take it out like it happened in the last go around with the last administration, and to please not diminish the voices of the people that have put in decades of work. It is to make this entire county successful and stronger, and we are here and dedicated to that. So please, if you don't like me, come dancing with me one night. We'll see, maybe that'll change. If not, just understand we're here to have those difficult conversations. We also have a lot of joy and a lot of fun. So I welcome collaboration. And again, our phone isn't ringing and our email box is not full. And there's a lot of unanswered emails that are going to make this project successful and you need to address. And if you ignore them, you're just going to throw more money down the drain and more people's lives are going to be crushed.
Hello, Ms. Darcy.
Time to stop the cycle.
Mahalo for your testimony. Members, any questions for Ms. Darcy? Seeing none, thank you for being here.
One day somebody asked me a question. It gets, I come all these times. Nobody asked me anything. Where'd I get my shirt? Come on. Oh, you come and find out.
Thank you. Ms. McKinley?
Chair, the next testifier is Marianne Pahukoa, to be followed by Azan Dudua Lindo.
Aloha, Ms. Pahukoa.
Aloha, members. I'm here to testify in support of Resolution 2550, confirming the appointment of Jonathan Likeke Scheuer. Dr. Scheuer's expertise and professionalism makes him a priceless leader to our Maui County, to our water resource management, and to policy and advocacy, not just here on Maui, but throughout Hawaii. Just here to speak on his good character and the way he consistently demonstrates professionalism in his kuleana, the way he conducts meetings with clarity, structure, and respect for his members and stakeholders. Whether presiding over, these critical issues with BLNR, he continues to engage in these important and vital meetings. His ability to just, navigate this complex water issues with fairness and integrity is truly seen, and it's just evident. So mahalo for your time. Mahalo for supporting him. His knowledge of water law and policy and community just brings balance and informed decision making to the floor. Mahalo for your time.
Mahalo, Ms. Pahukoa. Members, any questions for Ms. Pahukoa this morning? Seeing none, thank you for calling in.
Chair, the next testifier is Zan Dudua Lindo, to be followed by Maya Marquez.
Aloha, Ms. Lindo.
Aloha and mahalo for this opportunity, Chair and members of the Council. My name is Jantel Lindo. I'm testifying on my own behalf, and I am the Chair of the Commission on Healing Solutions for Homelessness, but I am not testifying as an official member of that commission today. First off, I would like to testify on the support of Likeke Scheuer to the East Maui Water Authority. I don't know him personally, but I have had the honor and privilege to be taught by him in certain legal primer classes and leadership classes. I have had the opportunity to witness some of his awesome projects and his vast knowledge and heart. And what I can say is that when somebody is a great teacher and they can empower people who know nothing about water and nothing about the issue, but leave that place feeling empowered, that we can all rise up together and want to learn more about how to steward this kuleana well, I think that's a wonderful person to have on our team. And so I just would like to speak in support of him, and also just witnessing some of the recordings of the meetings and things like that. He's a very organized leader. I watch him not just empower people, but have strategies and so much education and confidence in what he's doing, and a heart for our people. That is just a really great mix. So I just wanted to support that. The second thing was I want to speak to the pilot project for safe sleeping parking lots. And I want to commend this council for always being thorough, even the last council, in the way that you vet out things. I think for me, what I would like to do, and I know that Member Sanensi and this council has been super supportive, is ensure that our commission, the county's commission on homelessness, has a very secured and opportunity at the seat to discuss these things prior to any decisions being made. The last time this happened, our commission wasn't included in any part of it, not for the vendor, not to pick it up, not to give input on it. And I think that's a real disservice to our county and to what you've created, so that our people can have a say. Secondly, I also would like to say that as much as I would like us to look at people on our islands and in our county to help run this, it has to be people who can collaborate. We can collaborate with, who get along, and who are people who are very solution oriented. We all know the problem. What we need is more people who are stating solutions and committed to that kind of passion. And so I like Lisa. I think she does a great job in the way she does things and all that. But I also want to remind us that the fact of the reason that the last thing didn't pan out is we just have to make sure the lines are not misconstrued, that if we utilize this commission to help make the decision or any part of that, then those people cannot also be hired to run the project. That's just not how things work. So I just want to thank you guys for everything that you do. I also want to say that Molokai, our Kaunakakai Baptist Church, has implemented a safe sleeping zone on our island for the last year and a half, and it works perfectly. And we have some very good opportunities. They've gotten no money or help from any kind. They just doing it with donations, and at some point we will come so that we can expand that. But if you want an example of a grassroots safe sleeping area, I invite you to Molokai to check it out. So mahalo.
Mahalo, Ms. Lindo. We have a question for you from member, a bunch, Rollins Fernandez, member Polton, and Pro Tem Kama. Go ahead.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, Ms. Lindo. Mahalo for your testimony this morning. So to clarify, are you inviting the council to a site visit on Molokai?
Absolutely.
All right. Chair Lee, you heard that? Okay. All right. Member Sanensi or Chair Sanensi, perhaps it can be a site visit under your committee.
Okay. Well, staff, you got that?
And Member Rollins Fernandez, can I just say that the reason I would, as much as I just like you guys all come to Molokai, I just wanted to kind of give some examples of really grassroots, small, micro solutions that end up combining to be a big solution on our island. And they're being done without any money. Of course, we need some and we could use some, but for right now, it's just being done. And I think if you could get eyes on what's happening, we would dispel all the in-the-box thinking and look at some real solutions that benefit the specific geographical area.
Mahalo for that clarification. Mahalo, Chair.
Next, we have a question for you from member Polton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Durua Lindo. I was wondering if you can clarify, at the Kaunakakai Baptist Church, do they let them in to use the facilities, or do they rent out portable toilets?
Nope. The church saw a need because they were flooding our county parks. and then the park's bathroom during COVID shutdown. So what the church did was the membership dedicated a certain amount of their offering every month to rent a porta potty, which they opened to the community. And then the church also opened up their facility in order for them to sleep in the corridors and places where they could, away from the elements. Can I just say that the other thing that is happening right now is that the church is finding so much opportunity to love on these people, and agencies are now coming to the church during the day to interview them and really comfortably approach this, that one of the things that we noticed is there is a disconnect that because we give them one safe place for sleep, under the HUD guidelines, because they now have a permanent place or semi-permanent place to sleep, they don't qualify for housing. So that's what I kind of want you guys to see. Like, if somebody is able to sleep at our church and they say that we give them a safe place, they no longer qualify in certain areas because they're not technically unsheltered for 90 days or more.
And my second question is, what is the capacity of Kaunakakai Baptist Church?
So our total capacity for the buildings is 200. But what we do is we've creatively allowed them to stay out in the yard area that is fenced up so that they can be safe. And so that's pretty limitless. But right now, we have about 9 of them that are every night sleep there. There's probably a total of about 30 homeless in our community. We feed in the same facility anywhere from 17 to 20 a week. And during storm times, when we open for shelter and open up our chapel, we're able to take all 30 in to feed and house during the storms.
Thank you.
Next, we have a question for you from Pro Tem Kama.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for being here, Ms. Lindell. What is the area in which the safe parking area utilizes? Is it on a half an acre, or a quarter of an acre, or?
You know, I think it's a little under an acre. It's right in the middle of, it's right in the main town of Kaunakakai, in between all of our ballparks. So I think it's right under an acre. But I want to say that all of the people we have right now, we only have one that is in their car that comes back and forth. And the safe hours we have been doing is 9 at night to 6 in the morning. But we're trying to expand to be able to do 6 to 6. They also have a storage area that we have for their stuff.
So I have another question. So, the program on Molokai, and there's a program in Waimanalo that is operated by people of faith, and none of them use government money. It's all by donations of their members and their community, things like that. So, as we move forward with this, sometimes government gets in the way of itself in terms of trying to help, our community. So you mentioned earlier that maybe at some point in time, the church may come and ask for county's assistance. Did I hear that right?
I think that the churches, if we're going to use us as a template, there's going to be a need to look at how funding can be available to not just us, but other small churches and people who can do small things at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I got that. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chair Lee, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Lindo. With regard to the churches, I think you may remember, like 6 years ago, I think you came to the Kahului Union Church, yeah, remember? And one of the reasons why we had that gathering was Councilmember Tasha Kama called together all these churches to meet at the Kahului Union Hall. Because I had put in the budget $500,000 for the homeless, and specifically for churches. to help the homeless. And then the reason why Member Kama and I were concerned was not one penny was being spent of that $500,000. And one of the reasons why we were told is because churches had to get liability insurance. Is that a problem? Do you know?
That's going to be a problem for smaller churches. So I just want to answer your question, I just need to say this. Had about 200 pastors at that meeting that we went to. And the biggest, and then the Commission on Healing Solutions also did a TIG to figure out why faith-based communities weren't more active in the homeless issue. And we're going to offer up some recommendations, but what we realize is that we look at the problem as so massive that we try to give out massive pots of money to one entity to furnish the solution. And what we realize is if you're going for the churches and faith-based support, it needs to be an umbrella that can easily distribute funds between small churches that don't have the capacity to manage large amounts of money and figure out a way to just give them, they're like the responders, right? And so we need to figure out, or our commission or whoever, how do we get this money to the responders so they can do the work? And what most churches don't have is the administrative or grant capacity to apply for and then manage these grants in a way that won't get them into trouble. And so all that hassle, so grants can cover the liability and all that stuff, but all that administrative stuff and the post-administrative stuff is super hard. The response can be easy. It's what can we do to come around them and create that. And then I also want to say that liability, our church was lucky because we were able to furnish our own liability insurance here to include some of creative solutions, like it doesn't necessarily have to be to house people, but what we did was buy an event insurance that just so happened to have an event every single day of the year for 365 days of the year. So there are creative solutions if we look for them, but a small church with a congregation of 30 people or 40 people is not going to have that capacity or ability to do it. So that's where I'm interested. I think the problem going to be impacted, the solution going to be impacted so much more if we can figure out ways for the little guys to be able to respond to this in the way that best fits their ability.
Thank you. But I have one last question or comment, actually. You're not going to have any problem getting funding from the county. That's not the challenge. The challenge is all the administrative stuff you just talked about. But luckily, we have a commission on homelessness, right? Of which you chair and of which you can champion. And secondly, we also have a committee that Member Rollins Fernandez chairs. I think you know who she is. And she is about to tackle grants management. And maybe in that process can look at finding or incentivizing umbrella agencies for this purpose. Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
And can I also just add in that to really look at when the council allocates money through the budget for things like this. I personally love Director Suhako, and the staff is awesome and all that. But when you funnel money through the Department of Human Concerns and it comes under that kind of specific, churches and small organizations are required to do a 3-year audit. And so some departments don't require that. But you got to be careful where you put the money into the budget for these things, because those 3-year audits are not going to be affordable straight off the bat for smaller organizations who can't comply to that. So just...
Yeah, but that's the reason why you have an umbrella agency to take care of those responsibilities, the audits and so forth. Okay, thank you. But as far as... Director Suhako, we'll leave her up to you too.
Members.
Okay, thank you.
Did you guys want to invite Ms. Lindo to be a resource? Are you able to stick around for the discussion later?
Chair, I would be happy to stick around. I just want to make clear that you did invite the commission to be represented at this meeting, but we did not officially appoint me. So if I stay on as a resource, it would basically just on my own experience. So I don't know if that would help you.
Okay, any objections? Okay, no objections. Thank you, Ms. Lindo. Again, under 18A of the rules of the council, no objections? Okay. Thank you. Ms. McKinley?
Chair, the next testifier is Maya Marquez, to be followed by Jason Medina.
Aloha, Ms. Marquez.
Good morning, council members. I'm a little short. Okay. Enough is enough. We've been meeting and talking about homelessness for how long now? Years. And where are we? The streets are still full of people and people are still dying. Why are we still sitting here having these conversations with no solutions? Every day, people are dying on our streets, people who have names, families, and stories. And what do? We meet, we talk, we waste more time. When will we stop pretending that discussing problems endlessly is actually solving anything? When will we stop talking about studies and numbers and start talking about real solutions? When will we start caring about the lives of the people suffering right in front of us? I stood here in October with a board of names, people I knew, people who died because we as a community didn't do enough. I was going to bring that same board today, but now it's even worse. The list of those we've lost has grown longer, and not because of a natural disaster, but because of the continued failure of the system to offer even the most basic support. So I ask you, when will you care? Will it take a loved one of yours dying on the street for you to finally take this seriously? Will it take someone you know losing their life for you to act? When will we stop ignoring the cries for help, not only for those on the streets, but from those of us who are trying to help them? When will you listen? I'm beyond frustrated. I don't want to keep hearing about new plans and studies when they don't lead to anything real. People are dying right now, and what do we have to show for it? Nothing. More meetings, more talking, more nothing. I came here today to tell you that we need a safe parking program yesterday. We need a place for people to park, to rest, to have a chance at survival today. How much longer are we going to wait? How many more lives have to be lost before you finally take action? I could come here with statistics, names, and pictures of the people we've lost, but we have enough data, enough words. What we need now is action. People continue to die, and while we discuss, they suffer. Please stop talking and start acting. Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Marquez. Members, any questions for Ms. Marquez? Seeing none, thank you for being here.
Chair, the next testifier is Jason Medina, to be followed by Tina Marcellino.
Aloha, Mr. Medina.
Aloha, Chair. Aloha, everybody. Council, good to see you again. I'm happy to be back. I'm just wanted to speak on Resolution 2550 and as well, Agenda 1, parentheses 2. 2550, I stand behind getting Jonathan DKK Scheuer into his position in March. He has a lot of IK on VAI. It's very important, and someone with that much knowledge should definitely be appointed. That's all I have to say about that. As far as the pilot project using county parking lots for human habitation, yes, I agree with Miss, what was her name? Lindo, I believe. She said a lot of things that I agree with, and I'm going to look into the Molokai sleeping zone, and also Maya as well. My partner Maya, she is a very strong advocate for all of our houseless and vulnerable, as well as myself. and she's reaching a limit. It's also time. I think it's time, and we should leave this in certain people's hands that are local. I could recommend Mo'i Kawa'akoa, who's doing lots of work on Holomua, and was also at Pu'uhonua Onene when it started. And I believe very much in her leadership, and even though it needs a little refinement, I stand behind her as a good leader, because she leads from a very it's informed as far as Hawaiian culture is concerned, and I think that's where some of the failings or shortcomings in Pu'uhonua Onene popped up, because it was not Hawaiian informed, it was not culturally as relevant. Leadership, it's very important. I remember standing here talking about leadership before, and proper leadership is probably the most important part. It's we'd love to partner with anybody who comes from the States, but they have to have the same kind of ike. I believe they need that knowledge to even talk to the people that are here and see what's going on. And also want to make a quick note of, I read the packet briefly, and it mentioned that there are some companies that are, they're getting money for, basically, I think I need to have a meeting with Lori Suhako. That's about all. But they're getting funding for doing things that we actually are on the streets doing, being a part of MRR, doing the water project. I'd like to see what's holding up the people actually getting the water, and not for-profit companies like Project Vision actually saying in their bio, the paperwork I read, that we do the water. They do not do the water. And I do the water. I'm with the people, and the people know us. And the people are out here, and I'm looking at them. So give people, the people that have boots on the ground, please give them a chance to gather it together and have proper leadership. It's really important. So we leave from a human place, we can definitely attract more flies with honey than vinegar. And I think that's about all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Mahalo, Mr. Medina. Members, any questions for Jason? Seeing none, thank you for being here.
Chair?
Jason, we had a question for you from Member Sugimura. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Jason, for your testimony. I'm curious about your statement that the Project Vision does not do water and that you do it. What do you mean by that?
There's a water project that we started. I was in these chambers years ago, say about 3.5 years ago, with a video saying we need to do this water project, and we touched some individuals. And at the time I was working for Project Vision, but they said they have received $200,000 for doing water and street medicine. They have a truck, the truck that I used to use. It is now a dump truck, basically, a glorified dump truck on site for Pu'uhonua Onene. It does not go out with an IBC tote. It does not give water to the people of Maui. I've been keeping the same schedule for the past 3.5 to 4 years, delivering water. And that's why the communities, if we go out to Wahikuli, Olowalu, Kapu'ali, aka Cut Mountain, if we even go south side, we could go to La Perouse and North Shore, Holomua. All of the people, they can attest to my presence, being there consistently, giving them water. I've been called Vi Angel and all kinds of funny stuff. Oh, you guys are a power couple, but Maya and I have done the water for the past 3.5, 4 years. No matter what nonprofit we're part of, we'll continue. Hope that answers the question. Sorry.
Members?
Yeah, you answered the question. So what nonprofit are you with now?
I think as of yesterday, 250 people lost their jobs, so I might be jobless as of today. But yesterday I was with MRR, Maui Rapid Response, and it has an umbrella, Maui Grassroots Collective. And so, yeah, I continue doing the work, and we ended up getting a truck, and we have an IBC tote. It's in the parking lot right now. And we're going to do some water stuff today.
The Maui Rapid Response and not Project Vision.
Not Project Vision, but Maui Rapid Response, yes.
Okay, so I guess that's a question for the department on the grant is what you're questioning for Project Vision. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you, Jason. Oh, we had another question for you, Member Bolton.
Yes, Councilmember Paulton.
Thank you, Mr. Medina, for your testimony. I was wondering, have you ever submitted anything in writing based on what you were saying to the county, whether it's Corporation Council or Human Concerns or the County Council?
Personally, no, but I've been part of groups that have. I think you'll have to clarify, like in writing, a petition or asking for funds or.
Like an email. I mean, I don't know the details, but it kind of sounds like fraud if one entity is getting money but not doing the work and another entity is doing the work. So, I mean, if the agencies within the county of Maui, if it's been brought to their attention in writing.
Okay. Then I will continue. I think we've had some meetings that were set up, but I haven't had meetings with Ms. Suhako, who I know is has some control of the funds. And I've been meaning to have a meeting with also a chair member, Sinetsi, because he wrote part of the original grant that got us to get to the water in the first place. So I will definitely get on that right now. I thought that part of the nonprofit I was part of, we were edging and making calls, but I'll make a formal request.
And to your knowledge, like you're doing this work and Project Vision is not doing any water delivery?
This is correct. I see the trucks and I know the places and I ask around, who is out there? Have you seen anybody this week? Have they come to help you? And we have pretty good relationship with lots of the people that are outside.
Thank you. Chair, you think it would be possible to write a transmittal to follow up on that and, the legality aspect of who's getting the money and who's doing the work in writing?
Okay, staff, you got that? Yeah, we can do that.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Pro
I have a
Tem,
question.
okay.
Did you have something,
sorry.
Chair?
Yeah, sorry, members, I've been urged that your questions must be clarifying. If not, I'm going to have to keep asking them to be a resource under 18A of the rules of the council. So
Okay, well, you
keep
tell me if my question is not clarifying.
Okay.
So
yeah,
you mentioned that you were doing the water delivery, and you've been doing it for the past 3 or 4 years. So where do you get your water from, and do you have to pay for it?
Now we have a different process. We were very fortunate to have another foundation who owns an AWG, an atmospheric water generator, speak with us because they saw us doing the work, and they're called Noah's Ark Foundation, just to put them out there. Okay. And it produces 300 gallons a day, and we're able to park this contraption somewhere, but that's where we get our water from. And currently it runs off of diesel, but we are working on solarizing it so that it can be the first of its kind on Maui.
So you don't have to pay for the water yourself?
Just in terms of diesels, no.
For the gas, to put in the truck?
I do out of pocket, but Noah's Ark Foundation, we have an agreement. They're going to help me with diesel for a while.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Pro Tem Kama. Okay.
Chair, the next testifier is Tina Marcellino, to be followed by James Copeland.
How many more testifiers?
Chair, including, there's 4 right now at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay. Can you repeat their name?
Tina Marcellino in the chamber.
Ms. Marcellino? Okay, we can come back to her.
Chair, the next testifier is James Copeland, also in the chamber.
Mr. Copeland? And then who else after Mr. Copeland?
Carlotta Welsh.
and then Mr. Welch or Miss Welch, and then
on Teams, Director of Communications.
okay.
My name's James Copeland.
Okay, you can go ahead and speak. Oh,
My name is James Copeland. If you go down the highway, as you're going to go to Paia, you make that right turn. There didn't used to be anything there. It was just weeds and what have you. There was nothing there. I've been there for a year here at the tent, and I grew that myself. I planted all those plants by seed. So now, nothing. There's nothing. All that's been taken away. All that work I put into that, I've got maybe in my own money alone, $5,000 for the soil, and products to grow food that we were eating there, okay? We don't have that no more. We can't grow plants there anymore, which is kind of strange. So now all we do is live on a bunch of rocks, which is, how would you like to have that? Would you guys like to just live on rocks? There's no plant life there now. It's been cut off, the fences cut everything off. There's no plant life there anymore. So, how would you like to live at your house with no plants or a lawn or your roses, what have you? There's no water. Now there's no water for us to drink. We got to get drinking water sent there to us. So I think the water thing there is pretty much, no, if you can't eat and you can't drink, well, then you can't live. Pretty much how it goes these days. That's why I'm here. I'm kind of mad because after I worked my butt off for a year, making that happen, making that place look somewhat, I mean, I'm talking flowers, I'm talking eatable substances that you can eat. I made it happen there for that. Now, they just cut it out. We just got cut off. That whole place has been cut off. So, we don't have no plants anymore. We don't have hardly, we got to push water, we got to buy water in tanks to bring in there for us, to drink and to shower with. We can't take a shower, There's pretty much 60 people there that can't take a shower. How would you like to wake up in the morning and not be able to take a shower? Or get home from work, because we all work there, okay? And not be able to take a shower. It's pretty hard. It would be pretty frustrating on you, wouldn't you think, folks? That's why I'm here. I got mad because they're taking away the resource that how to live. So,
thank you, Mr.
That's
Copeland.
why I'm here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for Mr. Copeland? Seeing none, thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Carlotta Welsh, to be followed by Director of Communications.
Aloha, Ms. Welsh.
Well, I live at Pu'onene, and I had a hard time with life before I began to stay there. I couldn't live in a place because they had taken away my SSI, my Social Security. They had taken that away because I wouldn't see one doctor. I just got tired of seeing all the doctors because I'm bipolar. So I had a hard time. I finally found this place to live, and now I feel good. My heart is warm. I have food every day. I take a shower. We're supposed to get little houses. We've been waiting on that. I really hope that they come off with this. I'm sure by then they'll have to probably put water lines in. But the place has done me a world of good. I had no place to sleep. I was sleeping in the woods. And it was a very dangerous place I was staying. I was living in Kehikinui. And it's bad out there. It's hard for one to survive out there alone. Anyways, I hope that you take care of this parking problem. And God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.
Mahalo, Ms. Welsh, for your testimony. Members, any questions? Seeing none, thank you for being here. Staff, do we need to take a quick break? I don't see anybody online. Okay. You guys want to take your morning break? Okay, members, the WASSP committee meeting is in recess to 10:20. For the WASSP committee meeting of Tuesday, February 25th, 2025, please come back to order, and we'll continue in the lineup for testimony.
Chair, the next testifier is Director of Communications, to be followed by Faith Chase.
Director of Communications.
Chair, I think they dropped off the call. The next testifier is Faith Chase, to be followed by the caller with the last four digits, 5012.
Aloha, Ms. Chase.
Aloha, Chair. Aloha, committee members. So do I go in order one by one? Because I'm going to testify on both.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I really do appreciate Jonathan Schur's. I can't see the gallery. I'm not sure if he's in the gallery today in person. I really appreciate his professionalism, his diplomacy, his clarity, his research, his knowledge. My goodness, he wrote a book on water, right? He knows that I have certain issues in his private consultation that bring me a little bit of concern. It is relative to the East Maui watershed because we have a experiment with the Wabaka mosquito project going on, and there's a lot of questions and there's open litigation about it. So I just need to get that on public record. I have not heard anybody else bring that topic to this council in the past 2 years. I need to keep doing that because we need help. So that's my testimony for Jonathan Schur. All other things aside, he's absolutely excellent. My next topic, the safe sleeping parking lot. We know that outside consultation or agencies, what have you, haven't been successful in cultural sensitivity, cultural sensibility, cultural applications. And so I am very worrisome not knowing anything about this. I'm actually happy that it's back on the agenda. But you have Share Your Mana organization, individual advisory council members in the gallery. I missed their testimony, but I can't say enough that they are the experts. They're the boots on the grounds. They're the experienced individuals. There's absolutely no way you could go forward without asking for their input, their critique, their analyzing of this approach. And so I've met individually, spoken individually with Chair Johnson, with Council Member Johnson, and with yourself, Chair, about this matter. And so I think sometimes when it comes to funding, it's really sad. We see that in our hometown, Council Member Sinensi, that you have so many nonprofits going after the same bucket of money, and sometimes it's a really unfortunate hustle that leaves others behind. Share Your Mana is completely voluntary, has never received any funding, definitely tried to get some grants in the past and was unsuccessful just because the bandwidth isn't there. The capacity needs to be increased. And that reason, I can testify to that. I volunteer every now and then, and that's because it's always doing damage control. And so I'm going to end quickly with not using any kind of angry voice. I am not angry, and I was invited to this county council committee hearing because I'm a tax-paying citizen, right? And you all work for me, and I just have to say that Councilmember Sugimura, this is your last term. Are you going to leave this term having done nothing for the houselessness issue? I mean, that would just be such a shame, because I know that it's something that can be done. You guys can come together collectively and do something, and there's no excuses. One of the last suggestions I made at the last time I testified was you all sit in a room and you don't leave until there's a solution, whether it be a 2-day retreat at a fancy Maui Arts and Cultural Center or Cameron Center or what have you. You do something and you produce something. You have action steps after. I could not be more serious. And again, I'm not being angry. I'm being serious. Thank you.
Mahalo, Ms. Chase. Members, any questions for Ms. Chase? Seeing none. Ms. McKinley, thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is the person logged in on the phone on last four digits 5012.
5012. If you can go ahead and unmute. Is this the last testifier?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the record here. Yeah, hey, Sean.
Shane?
Dude, you just gave your poker face away with that last question on the last session when Halpin mentioned the word fraud about the monies going to the nonprofits where they should be taking the liability for the homeless for us. That's why the county can't and won't and are advised not to have this program under their umbrella because it's a huge liability. Yes, it is. Smart lawyers nowadays.
Who? Can you go ahead and... What's your name?
Sean. Is that your name?
What's your name? No, what's your name for the record?
Don from Haiku.
Don from Haiku.
Keep it anonymous here.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, this parking lot thing, I think you guys are just trying to justify the monies that came in 22 to support that program. Is that correct?
We're getting an update from the administration today, Don.
I know, but who called you when you put your hand on the phone in that last session when Pelton mentioned the word fraud, and then you got real nervous? You're not that good of a poker player. Just saying. Gave your hand away.
Thank you.
And so who?
Thanks for your
who
testimony.
Who called you?
Who you?
Okay.
All right. Thank
Just
you.
a little all in.
Next, please.
Chair, there's currently no one else to testify at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay. Can you go ahead and make a last call? No, everybody.
If anyone would like to testify, please approach the podium now.
Moi, you guys don't want to testify for the second item? Yeah. You like wait? Can you guys wait for the second item? Okay. Thank you.
Chair, seeing no one else indicating a desire to testify right now.
Okay, so we can close. Members, without objections, I'll close testimony for the first, at the beginning of the meeting. Okay, thank you.
No objections.
Thank you, Moi, for waiting for the next one. Thank you. Okay. Okay, members, moving on. We have... we'll take you guys after the first item. Thank you. Members, let's proceed to our first agenda item. Sorry, we have two items today, so we want to get to that second item. We have two more presentations after this one, yeah. Resolution 25-50, approving the appointment of Jonathan Likeke Shoyer to the East Maui Regional Community Board. Members, Resolution 2550's purpose is to approve Jonathan Likeke Shoyer's appointment to the East Maui Regional Community Board as the Hawaiian Homes Commission's representative for a term expiring on March 31st, 2030, in accordance with Section 8-19.2, Parent 1, for the revised charter of the County of Maui, 1983, as amended, and Section 2.60.040 Maui County Code. Members, attached to Resolution 25-50 is a letter from the chairman of the Hawaiian Homes Commission appointing Dr. Shoyer as its designated representative. Members, we have Dr. Jonathan Likeke Shoyer available for any questions. And Dr. Shoyer, for your information, was born and raised in Hawaii, works on environmental and Native Hawaiian issues. He is currently chair and Hawaiian Homes Commission representative to the Ahawai o Maui Hikina. We also have Ms. Cherie Noel Ka'anana. Welcome, a native Hawaiian born and raised on Oahu, who serves as the water program specialist at the Department of Hawaiian Homelands to explain the selection process. Since joining the department in 2023, her work has centered on the implementation and oversight of the Hawaiian Homes Commission's water policy plan. Her prior work examined the complex impacts of cultural diaspora, demonstrating her commitment to supporting indigenous communities. This experience aligns with her passion of fulfilling Prince Jonah Kuhio Kalaniana Ole's mission throughout the Pai'aina. So with that, we'll ask for some opening remarks from Dr. Scheuer, please.
Aloha mai kākou. Chair Senensi, members of the County Council and this committee, and members of the public, mahalo nui for having me here. It's a long day and you have critical items before you, so I'll make my remarks very brief. I'm humbled to even be here and to have the opportunity to have already served for a time in this role, and the opportunity again with the unanimous support of the Hawaiian Homes Commission to serve a second term. As you all very well know, when 64% of the voters of Maui County called for the creation of the East Maui Water Authority and its governing board, which we now refer to as the Ahawai o Maui Hikina. The mandate in the charter was clear that we are to acquire water delivery systems and the water licenses for East Maui, but the due diligence on how to do that and how that relationship will evolve between the county, the various communities on Maui that depend on this water, where the water's from, and the existing operators and users of this system were not mapped out. So it's been our board of 11 really dedicated and talented individuals who've been trying to work that out. The three things that we focused on in the last couple of years, one is just the basic setting up of a new county department, hiring staff, trying to, do the basics of organizing our operations. Secondly, and unexpectedly, we spent a decent amount of the final quarter of last year when the Department of Land and Natural Resources, and actually through its chair, proposed issuing a long-term water license to the current operator for 30 years, which would have foreclosed what this county and the voters asked us to do. So we spent a lot of energy and focus letting people know about that and organizing to make sure that at least the opportunity for us to secure the future that the voters asked us for could be explored. And so we were successful on that. And then growing out of that effort, we've been participating in preliminary discussions led by Mayor Bisson that are among the county, the current operators, to see whether or not there can be a cooperative and collaborative approach to the Board of Land and Natural Resources. I can't say a lot about what's been going on other than they've been in good faith and productive. And so we're grateful to Mahi Pono and their participation, as well as to the mayor's leadership on that matter. That's what's occupied us so far. We have a lot to do. I don't know exactly where we will be in 2030, exactly how this relationship's going to work out and what's going to make the most cultural, ecological, hydrological sense. But I do know that I'm honored to sit with this group of leaders primarily who come from Maui Hikina, and I know their commitment to find a solution that will serve all of Maui's people. And to be asked by them to have been their chair has been exquisite and overwhelming and humbling. So thank you very much for having me here today, and I look forward to any questions.
Hello, Dr. Scheuer. Before you ask him any questions, we'll have Ms. Ka'anana. And she has a quick presentation for the members.
Good morning, Chair Sinensi and members of the committee. For the record, Shri Ka'anana Water Program Specialist for Resolution 2550, approving the appointment of Jonathan Likeke Shoyer to the East Maui Regional Community Board. I'll be going over the context of the Hawaiian Homes Commission seat on this water authority, and then I'll be explaining the selection process that we used. In the November 2022 election, the East Maui Regional Community Board was established by a Maui County Charter amendment that called for the creation of water authorities. This water authority includes a designated seat for one member who is a representative of the Hawaiian Homes Commission. The addition of this representative to county water boards and the Water Commission has been a repeated request of beneficiaries and the Hawaiian Homes Commission, being the subject of numerous legislative proposals at both state and county levels. This appointment signifies a landmark achievement, marking the first action in the history since the passage of the Hawaiian Homes Commission that any state or county water board has formally included commission representation. The 1920 Hawaiian Homes Commission Act set aside 200,000 acres of land to establish a permanent homeland to protect and improve the lives of Native Hawaiians. This connection between DHHL and the Water Authority is crucial for collaboration and alignment with DHHL's mission and values as outlined in the Act. Our collaboration also furthers 3 of the 4 priority goals in the Hawaiian Home Commission's Water Policy Plan, as shown here. DHHL also has additional interests related to the EMI system. This includes our water reservation request of 11.5 million gallons a day for Keokea, Waiahuli, and Pulehunui, which is shown here in the purple, from 2020 that has not yet been fully granted by the Commission on Water Resource Management. Furthermore, our beneficiaries may exercise constitutionally protected traditional and customary practices related to the water that the state seeks to lease. Historically, the EMI system has dewatered streams relied upon by Maui Hikina community, including DHHL lands at Kianai and Wailua Nui. Lastly, but not least, DHHL holds a constitutional right to 30% of the revenue generated by water leases. Shifting to the selection process and procedure. This procedure was created to provide a workflow and criteria for when there is an upcoming vacancy for this designated seat. As a part of the steps taken to create the selection process, DHHL held a beneficiary consultation to discuss the proposed process and to collect beneficiary feedback. In order to accommodate for all beneficiaries who may reside in Maui County, including beneficiaries on Lanai or Molokai, the department conducted a virtual beneficiary consultation via Zoom. Approximately 3,063 postcards were mailed to all lessees and applicants residing in Maui County to announce this meeting, and the postcard is shown here. Email notification was also sent to approximately 50 Maui County homestead community leaders. We also created a web page to disseminate information and provide easy access to communication pieces, including a web link to the meeting and related submittals. A comment period of 30 days followed this consultation, and utilizing the comments that we received, staff ensured beneficiaries' desired qualities of a representative were also incorporated into the criteria of a potential nominee, which are shown here. The procedure for the selection of the Hawaiian Homes Commission representative to the East Maui Regional Community Board was unanimously approved at the December 2024 Hawaiian Homes Commission. The general outline is shown here. To quickly go over it, first, beneficiaries receive notice of vacancy through our DHHL website, and homestead leaders are notified via email. At the December Hawaiian Homes Commission meeting, we also announced the upcoming vacancy during the presentation of our submittal. Secondly, interested applicants complete an application form that is available on our website prior to the posted deadline. This past deadline was January 13th, 2025. Thirdly, DHHL staff internally review the applications and select the potential representative utilizing guidelines that were decided upon in beneficiary consultation, which I just showed you. And finally, the potential representative is recommended to the Hawaiian Homes Commission via submittal by DHHL staff. The commission then approves the nominee to represent DHHL and the Hawaiian Homes Commission. At our January commission, Dr. Scheuer was unanimously approved. So the next slide, never shows. Okay, so these are the steps that we have taken using the selection process thus far that I just went over in the previous slide. Kalamai. We are currently on step 6. And then thank you for your time. I'm also available for any questions.
Mahalo, Ms. Ka'anana. Okay, members, moving on. And just as a reminder, we also received lots of testimony in our e-comments. So if you guys want to just access the e-comments, you can see all of that testimony. So let's begin with our first round of questioning of Mr. Likeke Scheuer. Oh, more testimony? Okay, we'll open. Is there anyone else wanting to provide testimony for this item?
Chair, we have 3 people signed up currently. The first is Moke Burgao, to be followed by Gina Young.
Okay, Mr. Burgao.
Aloha Kaiaka, Chair, Council members. Mahalo for your time in being here and addressing this. It's a critical appointment for our lifestyle and our life in Maui, and also Hawaii. Water is a very crucial subject, and it must be taken seriously. Much more so than how it has been operating for the past 100 years. And at this moment, Dr. Scheuer has shown his ability in transferring his necessity to others who does not really understand it, but when they look at water as a transactional thing. It goes beyond that. And I do recommend that this board take seriously consideration in appointment of Dr. Scheuer. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Mr. Burgao. Members, any questions for Mr. Burgao this morning? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Chair, the next testifier is Gina Young, to be followed by Trinette Furtado.
Aloha, Chair Sinensi.
Good morning.
Good morning, and members. Thank you for taking up this item today. I submitted a letter in support, so I'll keep it quick. I first want to point out that Dr. Scheuer's broad support is demonstrated by the testimony. We're up to 32 submissions so far, and they just keep coming in. And this is because of his long record as an advocate for DHHL and their mission to protect and improve the lives of Native Hawaiians. In my role as director, I've had the pleasure of working with him. I meet weekly with him and Vice Chair Nakani Lua, typically for an hour. And for me, it's like having free top-notch consultants. Very useful. I've also watched Dr. Scheuer as board chair, and I'm really impressed by his ability to work with all of the members and through complex emotional issues. He's an excellent chair. in running the board, you can really see his experience, and we're very lucky to have him. So in conclusion, I would just want to say his role as the Hawaiian Homes Commission and DHHL board member is truly beneficial. It's a blessing for the county. I ask that you recognize his work on behalf of DHHL and their unanimous recommendation for him, and support the resolution before you. Thank you.
Mahalo, Ms. Young. Members, any questions for Ms. Young? Seeing none. Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Trinette Furtado, to be followed by Kai McDonald.
Hello, Ms. Furtado.
Aloha mai. Kalamai if I leave sand, because I've just come from conducting a funeral and ash scattering ceremony to be here today, because there are two very important things that I want to speak on. So, mahalo. First off, my name is Trinette Furtado. I live in Haiku currently, and I'm speaking on my behalf. First, on Resolution 2550. Dr. Scheuer, I have known in many different aspects on the state level, his advocacy, as you've heard from the director of the East Maui Water Board, with DHHL, and in complex issues has proved critical when we've come to an us versus them, which very easily in situations that concern Aina and Vai readily come to those points. He has finesse, and I don't say that in that, you know, he knows how to slide under stuff, but finesse in recognizing that there are different perspectives and different roles that people have, and they're coming with different information that perhaps we weren't able to, or they weren't able to collaborate or to discuss. And Dr. Scheuer has shown time and time again, not only a fairness across the board, but picking out these key issues to speak more on that will impact us in the future. And so I absolutely support his nomination to this board. It is vital that in these beginning stages, we have folks that not only are knowledgeable, but that have had the experience of discussing these issues on the state level and into, you know, getting into federal conversations as well. When we look at the kind of administration we have in the federal level, it grows more important that we look to taking care of ourselves. That's how we're going to get through all of this. The second item that I want to talk about is
Excuse me, we're just taking testimony on the resolution right now.
Okay.
You can wait for the next item to be called. Thank you.
We'll call you back up.
All right,
Trinette.
thanks. Yay, Dr. Scheuer.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for Trinette? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Ms. McKinley?
Chair, the next and currently last person signed up to testify is Kai McDonald.
Aloha, Ms. McDonald.
Aloha mai kako e kalamai. I'm just a little bit under the weather today, so I just wanted to provide support for Resolution 2550 and approving the appointment of Jonathan Likeke Scheuer to the East Maui Regional Community Board. I represent two organizations within the beneficiary community. One is the Association of Hawaiian for Homestead Lands, the ALL, which was founded in 2008. It's a National Homestead Beneficiary Homestead Association registered under the 43 CFR of the U.S. Department of Interior. This 9-member board has fought both directly and indirectly for the rights of beneficiaries. And so it's been a long time coming, Jonathan. We represent the voices of many beneficiaries who could not be here today. However, we just want to thank and support this Maui County Council, who continues to see beneficiaries and the work that's necessary to be done for the benefit of those sitting 29,000 on the Hawaiian Homes wait list. And so we appreciate the collective work that has been done, and we look forward to a lot more future opportunities by which beneficiaries can be taken, can have opportunities to take advantage of. So we appreciate and we are in support of Jonathan Likeke Shoyer to the East Maui Regional Community Board. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Ms. McDonald, for your testimony this morning. Members, any question for Ms. McDonald? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Chair, there's no one else signed up to testify on this item. Would you like to do a last call?
Yes, please.
Chair, I do see someone in the gallery. Looks like they're approaching.
For the first item, yeah. Okay, you do a countdown.
If anyone wants to testify, please make yourself known right now. I do see someone approaching the testifier podium.
For the first item? We'll do the, I think they want to testify for the second item, yeah.
Okay. If anyone else wants to sign up to testify on the resolution, please make yourself known right now. I'm doing a last call. 3, 2, 1. Chair seeing no one.
Okay. Members, any objections to closing testimony for the first item? And you have ability to testify for the second item afterwards. Okay. Thank you. Mahalo, members. Okay, members, I'd like to open the floor for questions and comments. Each member will have 3 minutes for the first round for Dr. Shoyer. And then if we need additional rounds, you may ask him any more questions. And just by a show of hands, let's go with show of hands. Member Paulton, followed by Member Cook, and then Pro Tem Kama.
Thank you, Chair. In light of the serious second item, I would just like to move to approve Dr. Shoyer and just be so grateful that we can get him for another term. Grateful to all the East Maui Water Authority members that show up and ready to vote.
Okay, you want to, I'll call Member Cook for discussion. How's that?
Okay, thanks.
Or did you want to speak?
Well, I'd like us to have a brief discussion. I am supportive, but I would like to have a brief discussion, and it's kind of like not the discussion on the vote, but a conversation about the role and the status.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, if there's going to be discussion, sorry, could we withdraw the motion then?
Oh, can we just?
Point of order. The chair did not recognize our motion or second, so it doesn't need to be withdrawn.
Yeah, so it's been, thank you. It's been moved by Member Paulton and seconded by.
Okay, now we have to withdraw it.
Oh, now we have to withdraw. Oh, because we had discussion.
Okay. You didn't recognize it.
Sorry, Chair. I thought you had recognized it, and then you hadn't recognized it, and then you recognized it. So now we're going to have to withdraw the motion.
We can have 2 rounds of discussion on the motion. You don't want to do that?
Okay. Oh. Yeah, okay. So if you can withdraw, we'll have discussion.
I'm just saying we only have an hour for the next thing, and there's choke testimony, but okay, I'll withdraw.
Okay, so.
Chair.
Yes,
Chair.
Go ahead, Member Paulton. Excuse me, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Can we perhaps table the motion?
We can do that, Chair.
Set it aside. You're the chair.
Okay. All right. We'll table the motion and we'll open it up for discussion. Mr. Cook.
Thank you. Congratulations on being nominated again. And basically, I am very supportive. I would like to know briefly, what is the status of sort of the water supply from your perspective now? Because you've been very engaged in this, and that's my question.
What is the status of the existing?
Well, what I mean is we've been experiencing drought. We've been experiencing the issues with, trying to identify the groundwater resources, and I recognize that your expertise and your long-term experience in it. And so, brief synopsis.
Chair, point of inquiry. Sorry, I thought you stopped. Chair.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Sorry, Member Cook. Real quick, do you we only have a little bit more time for the second item, and so my question to you, Chair, was, do you plan to take up this item for us to go in depth, like Member Cook is asking about some of the questions that's not directly related to the confirmation of Dr. Scheuer's nomination, but more about the system and the department, and so perhaps we can go have more in-depth conversation at a later time.
I'll leave it.
Because whether there's water or not has no bearing on Dr. Scheuer's confirmation. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you, Member Rollins Fernandez. I'll leave it to the good doctor to respond.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. Thank you, Member Cook, for the thoughtful question. And I would be more than happy to recommend people who could give a fuller explanation of things to this council, because things are critical. In the short term, people who measure stream flow around Hawaii have been seeing record lows in streams like measured for over a century. They're seeing lower flows than before. So we're in an immediate drought period. There's been a little bit of relief, but not fully. In the long-term period, looking towards the middle and the end of the century, projections are mixed on how things go, but definitely the leeward sides of our islands are expected fairly uniformly to be much drier, which will mean much more significant demands from the west sides of the islands. So to tie it back into the importance of this board's work, it's to try and set this county up for continued sort of life and success for the next century, keeping in mind those short and long-term trends in rainfall.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for your answer. And that question was relevant because we were interviewing you and to vote for you again. I was just saying, thank you for your answer, and thank you, Chair. That was relevant.
Okay, mahalo, Member Cook. Did I see Pro Tem Kama's hand or Chair Lee?
Oh,
go ahead, Chair Lee.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Scheuer. So I would imagine you've had a number of meetings with the board, and you've probably discussed, or have you looked into a capacity in terms of what the county needs, what the taro farmers need, what every entity needs? So have you looked at that, and does the board have a good handle on that?
Thank you for the question, Chair Lee. I believe we've had 18 meetings. My count might be off by a couple. We started off meeting twice a month, then we went to once-a-month meetings. We have some sense from the Water Commission proceedings, Board of Land and Natural Resources meetings, as well as our own work on what short and long-term needs are for each of those groups that you mentioned.
Okay, I still, all right, so would you say, okay, how many gallons a day would the taro farmers need?
So the amount allocated for Lo'ikalo can't easily be separated from the amount needed for stream restoration. That figure varies by season, how much is left in the stream, so it sets a minimum amount. I don't have the total amount that off the top of my head that's left in watershed. The current calculations that in 2018, parties to a long-running dispute and litigation before the Commission on Water Resources Management entered into a settlement decision that set a certain amount for restoration to the streams and a certain amount that would be available for diversion. That was based on data published in 2005 that was collected in previous years. That data estimated that there was approximately 85 million gallons a day available for off-stream uses. However, since that data was collected, we've experienced significant drying. So the question that is very significant, which the Water Commission as the body that will set stream flow standards needs to determine, is how much water is actually available for off-stream use The only thing I can say with certainty is it's probably significantly less than the 85 million gallons a day that was estimated in 2018.
Okay, thank you. I know that the county needs about 7 million gallons a day, but for some reason we have now 5 million gallons a day. But one of the difficulties I have with your nomination is the fact that when we voted on you the first time, I recall you saying that 3 years would have been enough for you. And the voters of the county really thought they were voting on staggered terms. So if you want to let him answer the question now or later is fine with me.
Respectfully, Chair, I don't necessarily recall the statement that you're referring to. My willingness to be here to serve another term is at the request of a number of community members, the direct request from the Commission on Water, or the Hawaiian Homes Commission, and...
No, but we have 5, 3, and 2 years, yeah. So this will be 8 years then for you.
That would be correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair Lee. Next, we have Member Uhu Hutchins.
Thank you, Chair. I actually don't have a question for Dr. Shore, but thank you so much for being here. I do have a question for Corp Counsel. In my committee and in last week, Friday's council meeting, we went back and forth about the IMB and its processes, so I would like it stated on the floor so we're not in any issue how this came to be on our end. Did he have to go through the IMB before he comes through here? And how will the rest of the board's nominations work moving forward?
Okay, so I do have to check the charter exactly for the language for the other members. Some of them are mayor nomination without council approval. Some of them are council direct. So those ones will be IMB will submit names to either the council or the mayor. However, as far as Dr. Choi is concerned, it's because it is the DHHL nomination. So IMB will not be involved in providing a name outside of county government. So that's why IMB is not involved in this.
Okay, so moving forward, the rest of the 10 seats will have to go through the IMB, but not this one.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I wanted on it. Oh, wait, he looks like he has something else to say.
Sorry, not the mayor appointment source.
Not the mayor appointments.
Yeah.
It doesn't go, mayor's appointments doesn't go through the IMB?
No, it goes to the IMB, but it doesn't come to this
Yes,
one.
yes. The 4 of them, and then the 7 will go through the IMB, then come to us.
Correct.
Just not this particular DHHL seat.
Correct.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Chair. That's all I have.
Good question, Member Uhu Hutchins. Any members online with any questions? Okay. All right. Member Paulton?
How's attendance been with this East Maui Water Authority?
We have all of our members in good standing. A couple members have experienced individual or family reasons for inability to attend for our meeting, which is tomorrow. I believe every member has notified us if they're unable to attend.
Every member is unable to attend tomorrow?
Sorry.
Oh.
They've informed us of their ability to attend or not attend. Sorry for my unclear answer. I apologize.
Thank you.
Any other questions, members? Pro Tem Kama.
Real simple. What is your quorum?
Quorum is, and Ms. Murakami also sits as our advisor. I believe so we have 11 members, 2 of which are ex officio, director of 3 of which are ex officio, director of Department of Water Supply, Finance, and the East Maui council member. Quorum, I believe, is 6 of the 11. But we've had usually well over a quorum.
Any other questions, members? Member Sugimura, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So, Dr. Shearer, in upcountry, we have a water situation that hopefully will happen soon. What is your relationship with working with the Department of Water Supply in terms of finding new water source, or how do you interact with that?
Thank you, Member Sugimura. Director Stufflebean sits as a member of the board. I believe he actually has perfect attendance at our meetings and has been a very supportive participant. He does inform us when they are exploring alternate sources to the East Maui irrigation system and surface water treatment for upcountry Maui, but that really falls within his kuleana, so we don't tend to discuss it so much as a board. We focus on how we are trying to secure long-term access to East Maui water for the surface water treated portion of upcountry's demands. Is that responsive to your question?
So you will not be any hindrance or try to, or how do you, I guess the question is, how do you fit in, or does it not matter then from your answer?
So it's important to us, and actually one of the things we've done over the course of our year and a half of working has been to develop a motto, a mission statement, vision, and principles, and some other statements. And one of the key principles is that the board as a body wishes to support the water independence of other regions, including upcountry Maui. So we're very supportive of those alternate sources coming into play, and we'll do whatever we can within our legal authorities under the charter to support that. But it is primarily the work of the Department of Water Supply and not us.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the members? You guys ready for the vote? Okay. The chair would entertain a motion to recommend adoption of Resolution 25-50, including, we already had the tabled vote. So we'll recall the tabled motion.
Motion.
Yep. So at this time, we'll recall the tabled motion. It's been moved by Member Paulton and seconded by Member Rollins Fernandez. Discussion, members? Do we need a roll call? Okay. No discussion. Roll call. We have one discussion from Pro Tem Kama and then Member Rollins Fernandez.
Okay. So I just wanted to comment on how impressed I was that the amount of support for Dr. Shore in terms of the department itself, the commission, homesteaders. I mean, and in the homestead associations, there's the beneficiaries who already live on the land, and then you have the people who represent the people on the waiting list. So I'm really impressed that that the department actually went and actually garnered, the information to get from their people what the people's recommendations were. So, knowing that, I just am in total support of Dr. Shower's nomination.
Okay, mahalo, Pro Tem Kama. Member Rollins Fernandez, followed by Member Paulton.
Mahalo, Chair. I speak in strong support of the motion on the floor and echo some of the sentiments and comments that Member Kama just expressed. As you heard by his colleagues on the AHA, that they're really grateful for his service, his past service, and his willingness to continue to serve on the board. He is a skilled meeting facilitator who possess a lot of qualities that I aspire to exhibit myself as a meeting chair and human being. Grace, empathy, patience, and as our earlier testifier mentioned, finesse, which I interpreted as artfulness. There's a way to handle meeting interactions that can de-escalate the energy when when emotions are running high in the meeting. And I've seen Dr. Scheuer do this time and again, and it's always very impressive to me. He's also very skilled at navigating bureaucracy, especially at the state DLNR. And he's not just an advocate for VAI and for our homesteaders, but he has a deep knowledge of institutional history, of water management, and understanding of Ike Hawaii, Ike Kupuna concerning Vai. So strong support. Mahalo, Chair. And mahalo, Dr. Scheuer, for your willingness to continue to serve. So much gratitude for you. Mahalo, Chair.
Mahalo, Member Rollins-Fernandez. Next, we have Member Polton.
Thank you, Chair. I'm stoked on your willingness to continue. Spoke about this with my husband, one of the 29,000 on the wait list, and he fully supports you as well as our Ohana. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Member Polton. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. I'm supportive and I'm hopeful, and we've had conversations about working towards collaboration with all of the different entities, and I'm hopeful and have confidence that you'll continue on that vein. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Member Hudgens.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much for your willingness to serve. I look forward to continuing the discussions, and I appreciate your willingness to find balance, because I know that's not always easy. And thank you for being here, and we'll talk story soon.
Chair Lee.
Thank you. Dr. Scheuer, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to support you. However, I think you know that I do appreciate your outstanding qualities. One of the two things I have a concern about is the fact that you don't live on Maui. That's one. Maybe if you did, I would change my vote. And then the other one is I believe that the voters thought that we would adhere to the staggered terms, which we're not. Okay, thank you.
Okay, mahalo, Chair Lee. And I too just would want to voice my support for Dr. Scheuer. And thank you for all your kokua, your expertise, and your help on the Hahui. Mahalo. Staff? Oh, Member Sugimura, go ahead.
Yeah, so with, as I said, with all the things going on with the county, but also, I mean, with Maui Island, but also, especially my district, which is very impacted by what happens with the East Maui water, EMI, Mahipono, Alexander Baldwin, and that whole discussion. This is so volatile, and this relationship, I think, is critical. And I really would like to have somebody who played in the streams, grew up with it, as a lot of my members in my community did. So I'm going to be voting no, and hopefully we can find somebody who actually grew up here with, great skills to add to this discussion. Thank you.
Mahalo, Member Sugimura. Any second? Oh, Member Rollins-Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. I was looking up after Member Hudgens had asked her question about the INB's involvement, and I looked in the charter under this section, Chapter 19, Section 8-19.2, Regional Community Boards. One member who is a representative of Hawaiian Homes Commission and is recommended by the Department of Hawaiian Homeland. And so in this section, it doesn't have a requirement for the INB. So I was looking for the INB, but I was also looking for the question about terms. And so same section, and so it's 2 of the 11 members initially appointed, 3 are appointed for a term of 5 years, 3 are appointed to a term of 4, 3 will serve for 3, and 2 will serve for 2 years. Board vacancy appointment are conducted at the same time. It doesn't have a prohibition on, it doesn't say that after that the term ends that you aren't allowed, you're prohibited from serving a subsequent term in this section that I read. But I'm going to keep looking also for the INB part, and then if I find anything that I can share when we get to full council, I'm sure Corp Council will also be able to cite that section too, and then that way everyone can feel satisfied, fully satisfied with the response regarding the selection and then confirmation process. Mahalo, Chair.
Mahalo, Member Rollins-Fernandez. Okay. Call for the vote. Staff?
Yes, Chair. Proceeding with roll call, Councilmember Cook,
Aye.
Councilmember Rollins Fernandez,
Aye.
Councilmember Sugimura,
Oh.
Councilmember Paulton,
Aye, no reservations.
Councilmember Hodgins,
Aye.
Council Chair Lee,
No.
Councilmember Kama,
Yes.
Vice Chair Johnson,
Excused?
and Chair Sinensi.
Aye.
Chair, that's 6 ayes, 2 noes, 1 excused. Councilmember Johnson, motion passes.
Congratulations, Dr. Scheuer. This item will now move to the full council for consideration. Thank you, everybody.
Chair,
Member Rollins Fernandez.
point of privilege.
Go ahead.
I know we just took the vote, but I wanted to, I just received information from the INB that the INB did confirm Dr. Scheuer's confirmation.
Okay. Thank you for that additional information. Members, if there are no objections, we'll just take a quick 2-minute recess, and then we'll come back with our second item. Okay, thank you. 11:20. Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to the WASSP committee meeting of Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Mahalo for your patience. And it is 11:22, and so we're going to move on to our second item. Mahalo for waiting. Members, our second item is WASSP 1, Parent 2, the pilot project using county parking lots for human habitation update. Members, in 2022, Ordinance 5419 became effective, amending Chapter 10.76 Maui County Code to establish a pilot project allowing houseless people to temporarily use their vehicles for purposes of human habitation on designated Maui County property. The ordinance purpose was to establish a safe sleeping place for people using their cars for shelter. Without this legislation, using vehicles for human habitation between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. While the vehicle is parked on any roadway, street, highway, or other public property is prohibited by Section 2916-112 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes. So this section is on Granicus number 5. Members, on January 29, 2025, we sent a letter to the mayor's office asking for an update on this pilot project, and the response is number 3 on Granicus. Today, we'll be receiving an update from Ms. Naomi Crozier, the homeless coordinator, the Office of the Mayor, and the Department of Human Concerns Director Suako. We also invited Ms. Sasha Brown today, and Ms. Brown is a homeless services program specialist for the city of Santa Rosa in Sonoma County, California, where they've launched a safe parking program in early 2022. Ms. Brown will share some information about their program if you need to ask questions in that context. Its impact on their communities and how it has helped those experiencing houselessness in Santa Rosa. So with that, we'll have opening comments from the mayor's office, Ms. Crozier, and we also have Mr. Jackson. Noah Jackson. Go ahead, Ms. Crozier.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here to, you guys hear me? Oh. Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here to talk about the safe parking. Mayor's team, along with Noah, has been actively scouting for sites on Maui to implement safe parking. So we're happy to say we're actively looking. And we've gotten pretty far, so nothing to report specifically because we want to wait for the landowners to get back with us before sharing, but we are on it. And we're working with Santa Rosa and in Washington also to make it successful.
And I don't have much to add. I'd hand it over to Director Suhaku as well. I'd just say I've just been supporting Naomi in the background on identifying locations as well as groups to work with on this project.
Alton, you had a question?
Clarifying question. Have you considered TMK 440011060000, 4.02 acres in West Maui, zoned A1? That was the executive order to the county from the state for housing.
Member Paulton, we'll table that question for now until we finish presentations and testimony, and then we'll go to your question.
Okay.
Okay, but thank you for that. Director Suhaku, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Lori, on behalf of the department, I think the correspondence the committee received from Mayor pretty much outlines the history of this project and the department's efforts to actually implement and design a program that addresses the need. Right now, we are working with the mayor's office and his staff, as well as some potential vendors and corporation council to try and I think develop a better proposal for the community. And we're not prepared at this time to give either the committee or the public any details because those haven't been worked out yet. And we have learned from past practice that it's better to do better planning and get all of the ducks in a row before making announcements and then having to necessarily backtrack and redo things. So I'm hopeful that we've learned those lessons and that this time we'll do a much more comprehensive job of planning. We'll, I know that my colleagues at the department and I look forward to hearing more feedback from Ms. Brown and the experiences in Santa Rosa. And we hope to also be able to integrate some of those lessons learned as well. So I yield. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, mahalo, Director. Next, members, we have Ms. Brown online, and she's just got a couple of slides to share with you. And she can go ahead and start her presentation. Is she on?
I'm here.
Mahalo for being with us today.
Yeah. Good morning, Chair and committee members. I'm Sasha Brown, Program Specialist with City of Santa Rosa Homeless Services. This morning, I'll be presenting information about our city's safe parking program, its impact on our community, and how it's helped people experiencing homelessness in Santa Rosa. Next slide, please. The city's safe parking program opened in March of 2022 in response to the rise in vehicle encampments. The safe parking program provides 52 parking spaces for adults who are experiencing homelessness as a place to safely park their vehicle or RV with access to basic services and wraparound services to help end participants' homelessness. Programs operated by Catholic Charities, which provides 24/7 staffing and or security. Next slide, please. Basic services provided by Catholic Charities include showers, bathrooms, laundry services, waste disposal, water, snacks, and one catered meal daily. Our wraparound services include comprehensive housing-focused case management services to promote participants' self-sufficiency and successful transition to permanent housing, and on-site weekly office hours with a behavioral health licensed clinical social worker. Next slide, please. From March of 2022 to December of 2024, the first 2.5 years of the program, 282 people were served, 25 exited to temporary housing, and 84 people were permanently housed, which is 30% of those that exited the program. Based on community reports of vehicle encampments and our in-field observations of those areas, from 2022 to the end of 2024, we reduced the number of occupied vehicles in city limits by 89%. We went from an average of 211 to an average of 23. When the program first opened, the wait list averaged about 50 households. Now, 2.5 years later, after 84 people that were living in their vehicles have now been housed, that needs been reduced by 60% to an average of 20 households on our wait list. Safe parking programs are an innovative, non-congregate shelter alternative for people experiencing vehicular homelessness that want to maintain their privacy and increase control over their direct living environment. Next slide, please. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, mahalo, Ms. Brown, for joining us. We're going to take testimony first, so if you can hang on with us for questions from the members. Okay. At this time, is there anyone wishing to testify?
Yes, Chair. The first testifier is Jeff Gishkin, to be followed by Casey Bullock.
Mr. Fishkin? Oh. Okay, thank you, Jim. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Casey Bullock, to be followed by Kapu Purdy.
Ms. Pollock.
Hello, everybody. The last time I gave testimony to the county was regarding the negligence of adherence to the law provided by a recipient of county funding for providing services to Maui homeless operated by an Oahu organization, Project Vision. The lack of progress to be made in terms of lawfulness afterwards, along with the amended Hawaii Bill 2037, where no provision or rule pertaining to the health or sanitation shall apply to a temporary homeless shelter from July 1st, 2018 to July 1st, 2028, which has been grossly taken advantage of. It proves to me that the county colludes with its preferred grant or funding recipients. This is problematic considering the political actions have already directly affected hundreds of the Maui homeless, and there is intention to reach more. The county's preferred partner, Project Vision, has stolen medical power of attorney from its homeless recipients, seeking shelter, claiming them as their medical patients, along with granting themselves legal access to commit insurance fraud by using a photocopy of signatures to process insurance claims for the period of lifetime. That's a lot to ask for a place to sleep. I personally was threatened with the police coming for me in 1 hour if I did not sign the papers granting them such permissions by one of their contracted nurses. For the county to do sweeps on homeless is like herding cattle towards the county's preferred partners, which pose a great threat to the homeless communities. If someone feels safe enough to go to sleep somewhere, let them sleep. And then finally, I just want to remind you all here today that by conducting policies here on Maui, that you are committing multiple war crimes, not only from being a political official representing the plunder of the Kingdom of Hawaii by the United States, but for inhumane treatment, destruction of property, and the devastation towards the people of the homeless population, let alone the likelihood of psychological torture, which is felt by those impacted. Homelessness would not be a problem if you did not control the land by force. All this land, yet you put us in one parking lot or one gravel pit. Give land. The Hawaiian Islands do not need continental solutions, as the Hawaiian culture has all the solutions necessary. Thank you.
Mahalo, Ms. Pollock. Members, any questions for the testifier? Okay, seeing none.
Chair, the next testifier is Kapu Purdy, to be followed by Mo'i Kavakakoa.
Hello, Mr. Purdy.
Aloha, Chair, and aloha, council members. Thank you for your time in listening to our testimonies. I'd like to touch on the same issue that Casey was kind of speaking of, but also touch on the parking, using the parking lots for safe haven for people who have vehicles. Because I think that is a solution in some manner, but at the same time, there's a lot of problems still with people that have temporary housing or emergency temporary sheltering because of the wildfires of Maui. I am a victim of that wildfires of Maui Lahaina. So I've been at that project that KC is talking about, and we've been up in air with how things are going and what our future is going to be, because there's been a changing of the guard, so to speak, on the Project Vision and whoever else is taking over from Project Vision. And we had this deadline of, we were supposed to be out this March. I think you guys maybe read this in the paper about Tent City Project Vision shutting down, which we were up in air and really unsettling. It was unsettling to us because it is a place that I call home now. And I was actually ambivalent about getting into that project in the first place because I thought of it as like a low security prison, fenced in tents and all that stuff. But in actuality, I had no place else to go. And that was basically the only place I could go. And I'm grateful. I'm actually grateful for having that place. And I just want you guys to know that there's a lot of people that they appreciate everything that is offered to us. And we are appreciative of people that help and work for us. At the same time, there's some, problems that go on that can be corrected. And I guess because of this changeover, maybe it will be corrected. But I stand strong with the proposal of having a parking area for people with vehicles. And I just wanted to know if you guys have the guidelines and, regulations and stuff all set, because, with that comes with people bringing junk cars and then making it look like a bunch of mess. So we don't want that. And other than that, that's my testimony for my stay at Tent City, known as Tent City, also known as Pu'uhonua o Nene. Aloha. Thank you, guys.
Mahalo, Mr. Purdy, for your testimony. Any questions for Mr. Purdy? And then we'll go ahead and ask the department some of your questions. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I didn't see Yuki. Member Sugimura has a question for you.
So actually, this is for you. The couple of testifiers are talking about State Department of Human Services projects. That's not ours. And so I wonder if you have planned to have, or I don't know if they're part of your resources, so that we could get clarification of all this testimony we're hearing.
Oh, okay. We'll do. We can have that during discussion. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So they're not a resource now for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Sam?
Chair, the next testifier is Mo'i Kawakakoa, to be followed by Trinette Furtado.
Aloha, Ms. Kawakakoa.
Aloha mai kako. So everybody know who I am. I'm here for item 1, Makua 2. I'm gonna go off of this 65-page homeless report that was facilitated by the Department of Human Concerns. And I'm gonna read the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge with respect that Hawaii is the traditional and ancestral homelands of people who are identified as Native Hawaiians today. We acknowledge that the United States government and citizens of the United States illegally overthrew the Hawaiian monarchy and forced Queen Liliuokalani to yield the Hawaiian kingdom to the United States government under duress. We acknowledge that the United States government suppressed the inherent sovereignty of the Native Hawaiian people, stole land from the Native Hawaiian people, and continues to illegally occupy Hawaii. We recognize with gratitude that all people within Maui County are nourished and sustained by the land and water that have been stewarded by Native Hawaiians for millennia before colonization. We recognize the importance of preserving and protecting Native Hawaiian cultural identity, including spiritual and traditional beliefs, customs, practices, language, and social institutions for future generations. Pu'uhonua o Nene. Reflect on these truths to ground our understanding of the root causes of homelessness in Maui County. We understand systemic inequities that affect Native Hawaiians, generational and lineal descendants, such as colonization, trauma, and environmental change, contribute to the state of homelessness in Maui County today, but it falls on deaf ears. No action. Countless meaningless meetings every week. We understand that Native Hawaiians are uniquely and disproportionately affected by the issue of homelessness, as well as other economic, environmental, health, and social challenges in Maui County. You see them every day when you drive the streets, no matter what island you're on. We understand, really, do you really understand? Do you? That to address homelessness in Maui County, we must also strive to right and balance our relations with generation and lineal descendants of this Aina. Okay? I won't go off of that. So to my understanding, this program came to light 2022 to help people that were working, newly homeless. Okay? Yesterday, we got one email. 250 people lost their jobs to federal cuts. What you guys gonna do for step up and help? Because they are gonna end up homeless, okay? I may take care of Holomua. I may take care of my people, Paia to Maliko, and I hope I can work with my council member. We had a meeting. It was meaningful. I'm gonna come with data. I'm gonna come with the statistics. I'm gonna come with the budget, okay? But what we're gonna continue to do here, we're going to continue just talking like this, or actions are going to fall behind them. And I don't appreciate not getting support from the administration and county council or human concerns, because I choose to just do the work.
Mahalo. Thank you, Moi, for your testimony. Members, any questions for Ms. Kawa'akoa? Okay. How many more testifiers?
Chair, there are currently 4 people signed up to testify.
Okay. And just as a reminder, members, we have to stick to the topic, I'm being reminded, which is the safe parking spaces. We appreciate your testimonies, but if we can keep it succinct to the agenda items so we can stay on topic. Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Trinette Furtado, to be followed by Lori J.
Aloha, Ms. Furtado.
Aloha mai. I gotta state my name again, or? Yeah, I think y'all know me. I'm mahalo Mo'i for starting off with that land acknowledgement, because as I read it also, that's great that we acknowledge, that we understand, but it's nothing without action. It's just words. It's words we throw around to escape culpability, to escape responsibility. And this parking, the safe parking option that you have available before you now, which actually has been since 2022, is something that is action, right? I'm hearing from the mayor's office that, they're still looking. We had 2025 and you're still looking for a parking spot. What has happened all of these years since it went into FY23 budget? We have 53%, maybe even more, of our community living under this threshold of Alice that they'd come out with in their report, right? As Mo'i had just mentioned, 52 organizations and about 300 folks lost their jobs yesterday. Jobs that help our community, jobs that help fire survivors, jobs that help those that need jobs like that. Gone now. Those people have rent coming up. Those people have bills coming up. Some of those may not be able to stay in their homes. And we don't have adequate shelter. We don't have adequate spaces for these people to go to. But we understand, right? We understand. It's tough. We can't just understand. If we understand it's tough, then we must do something about it. We must do something about it yesterday. We have the opportunity to do so now. Sitting in office and talking about it does not help. Safe parking is something that would help a lot of not just newly unsheltered, but those who are chronically unsheltered, who weren't able to find housing before all of these disasters, who have still got obstacles in getting assistance because people have preconceived ideas about them, or because the situations that they are in have caused them to change the way they live and the way they think drastically. No one comes to drug abuse because they like it. When you are in an unsafe situation, everything around you is dangerous. So you medicate or you hang out with those who maybe are going to take care of you. And even in that, there's a little bit of issue. Safe parking spaces would allow people to be in their cars, in their spaces where they feel a little bit safe. And they know that nothing's going to happen to them while they're resting, while they're trying to get their lives back together. Because trust me, the work that I have done with a lot of folks, they are trying. They're trying very hard. And so I ask, when you think about this also, and we think about asking those who come from here, right? Why does the council consistently look at folks that are from other islands to come and malama our folks, our community? We have organizations right here doing the work right now. And yet I see like Project Vision and Home Away and people who have no connection to our people. Oahu is different from Maui, and you all know this. You know this when you go and you go, oh, what island you from? We need people from here. We have competent, educated, experienced folks, and we need to use them. Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Furtado, for your testimony. Members, any questions for Trinette? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Next, please.
Chair, the next testifier is Lori J., to be followed by Therese Masters.
Aloha, Ms. Jade.
Aloha, council people in public. My name is Lori J. I'm testifying as a resident of the island. I've been here for 25 years. When I first moved here, I was taken in as family by a whole bunch of tour agents up in Lahaina. And I spent the better part of 20 years up there with them. A lot of those people are either dead or burnt out or moved off the island. A year after I moved in here, I gained residence in Wailuku in a small neighborhood that I'm not going to name, but I've been housing people in my yard, in the backyard, in the side yard, in the front yard, in my spare room, in my living room for years, for 20 years. So, I mean, most of them are people that work. I had a family of 6 in my living room. 2 toddlers, 2 infants, a toddler, and yes, it's this way all over. But we're here, right? I'm from the East Coast. I'm a transplant. I'm trying to make a difference. I've seen a lot of you through the years of different things in different places, and a lot of these people that I've been helping, I bring them along with me, and I try to lift them up. I try to help them get a job. I try to help them get water. I try to help them get food. After the fires, I was delivering food up to Lahaina. Then I started working in Pu'uhonu'onene. And I really saw how being able to live in your car, if you had a car that was working and you were able to get a job, because people helped you get a job in the community, you could thrive. There's several people that are out of there now. I see them in the community. Okay, I see them at Home Depot. I see them at Lowe's. They're working. It works. I'm ready to put people back in my garage, back in my side yard. I don't know what else to say besides, I resigned from Project Vision, and that was the last time I was here, and I was talking against them. And I stand with all of these people here because really, they haven't been treated fairly. I want them to be helped. We all deserve a safe place to be. Now there's 15 people that have died that I know from there. And that's all I got to say. Are there any questions? I'm sorry.
Mahalo, Ms. Jade, for your testimony. Members, any questions for Ms. Jade? Seeing none, thanks for staying on with us. Appreciate it. Staff?
Chair, the next testifier is Therese Masters, to be followed by Nara Boone.
Aloha, Ms. Masters. Is she online? Oh, she's online.
Yes, I'm here. Aloha. Thank you so much for bringing this very important subject up. Many of you know me, Therese Masters, from the ag sector of nonprofits, and I've recently started learning and volunteering with Holomua Outreach as an advisor, as a student, as someone with a lot of empathy for those around her. But I come to you as a resident of Haiku, as a system analyst who graduated from UHMC, who grew up in Haile Maile, who graduated from Maui High, who recognize the people and who have friends on the streets. I am shaking with anger. So the county of our mayor's office has no updates, none. And this has been going on from 2022. There's no data to share, not even numbers. I don't need names, just numbers of whom you've spoken to, what sites. I can confirm that our outreach has not been spoken to or interviewed. Sorry, going back as a resident. I also want to just say, I can see you guys, you can see me, but I want all your faces up and looking up, because I've been watching this testimony for people and friends who died on the streets, and these testifiers deserve your eyes and full attention. So please, all council members, pay attention. Act like you care and have some extended empathy of some sort. Okay, so I'm coming to you as a integrated systems analysis. And I can tell you, and from the nonprofit sectors, that there are no updates literally at all. Oh my, as a nonprofit, we would have been fired. Like, our reporting is so necessary and so required. And then you show up 3 years later and no numbers. I mean, this is deplorable. Nothing is being done. Nothing. The people are using their own money and resources to take care of the people, and getting harassed, and the homeless are being predated on by our government, and we sit here continuing to talk. Sorry, my hands are shaking so bad right now. As a taxpayer, I'm the mayor's boss, I'm the department's boss, I'm the council's boss, and I require some sort of declaration to step up into what you've been given, the responsibility you've been given, or it needs to be given to another agency, boots on the ground, to do something more. We have to do something now. Thank you for your time.
Follow Ms. Masters for your testimony. Members, any questions for Ms. Masters? Seeing none. Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Nara Boone, to be followed by Kaleo, Kamiki, Kamahi, and Makaiva Carter.
Aloha, Ms. Boone. Is she online?
Aloha. Yes, I'm online. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Hi, nice to see everyone. Again, I'm Nara Boone. I'm with Maui Housing Hui. And I am testifying in support of safe parking programs, and to say that we need so much more. I have the word urgency written in my notes and scratched, like underlined 5 times. What our community is going through is so much bigger than, what can be assisted with one safe parking program. However, our community is suffering to an extent it's never suffered before. And as Therese just said, it is inexcusable.
And Trinette said as well, for 3 years to have gone by and nothing have been done at this point. When this was first brought up, when Kelly King brought it up in 2022, there was celebration that finally something was going to be happening, but it's 3 years later and there's not much to show. We have really big things happening in our community. We have this moratorium on evictions for non-payment of rent that has come to an end with no true rental assistance available. What was discussed in that past meeting a couple weeks ago has very tight regulations to it, and the majority of people are not eligible for it. We have the horrible news yesterday that the National Displaced Workers Grant has been stripped for our people that are working on the front lines. Some in our organization, a lot under the Maui Grassroots Collective, which I am a part of, which Maui Housing Hui is a part of. We have lost many employees' funding for their housing. We have the March 1st deadline coming up for fire survivors to have to start paying some of their rent when we have our federal government pulling funding in every direction, from every direction. It is time for us as a community, for you as council members, and for the state to pick up the slack that is happening right now. There are just too many people that are about to be reacquainted with suffering in a way we haven't seen in at least a little bit. And this urgency, I can't stress it enough. You know, I know that there are other projects that are important, but housing our people is important, whether it's in cars, whether it is some other way. I live in Haiku. I drive through Haiku. I drive through Paia. I see more and more and more and more houseless. And where is the assistance for them? And I also want to tag on. Yes, there's been lots said about Project Vision. I also do not agree with what I have witnessed with Pu'uhonua Onene. I will say Project Vision has a gem on Maui in Robin Garrison, who practices street medicine with incredible compassion and should be recognized as that. While there's much that needs to be done as far as Project Vision is concerned, Robin is absolutely someone that is of our community that is doing the work and is dearly loved because of it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Mahalo, Ms. Boone, for your testimony. Staff, any questions for Ms. Boone? Seeing none. Thank you, Nara.
Chair, the next testifier is Kaleo Kamiki Kamahi and Makaiva Carter, to be followed by Stacey Alapai.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My name is Jamie Kamiki Carter. On behalf, I wear many different hats in our lahui, and today I'm coming to you as a child of God, as a daughter, a wife, a mother, and someone who truly loves our community. Our ohana has provided outreach to many unsheltered people throughout the years. It's been about 25 years now that we have done it. More recently, since the pandemic, we have done it on a weekly basis. And I'm very proud of our ohana, and we do it because we want our kupuna to be proud of us, and we want to be able to leave a legacy for our keiki when we leave. And hearing this in regards to the safe parking, I too agree that we should have it. However, I do hear all of the challenges that everyone has stated, which are facts. And it's also, how are we coming to a solution, and how can we come to a solution? that is one thing that I'm really not hearing from any of the people who were put in charge to take care of this kuleana. People have shared that it's been since 2022, 2023, and there's nothing to show for it. And I agree with Teresa's statement that if it was a nonprofit, we would have immediately gotten our funding pooled, or we would be under deep scrutiny. And so my hopes is for each county member and whoever is making the decisions and trying to move forward with this kuleana to really dig deep within yourself, as a human, as another person. When you see someone on the side of the road, what are you truly asking yourself? Oh no, there's one more of them. Or are you truly asking yourself, what am I doing to make that person find shelter or have shelter available to them? We don't know what everyone else is what everyone else is going through. So let's take that time to see what we can do to make our Lahu a better place. That is what you folks have been voted in office for. And I pray that you folks really dig back deep into your na'au to really question yourself. What are you folks doing to really make a difference and utilize the resources like Maui Rapid Response and the other organizations out there who are already doing the work with them and not only one organization.
Mahalo, Ms.
Open
Carter.
it up.
We have a question for you.
Mahalo. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, Member Paulton has a question.
Aloha. Aloha. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Miki, for your testimony. I guess, in relation to the agenda item, I just wanted to clarify, when you said if it was a nonprofit getting this funding, it would have been pooled. But I guess the funding was allocated in 2022 and the administration never implemented it. And so, our role is to fund things. And I just wanted to clarify, you wanted us to not fund it again because the administration isn't doing it, or because we, the council, aren't the ones able to implement. We fund, and then the administration implements, which they haven't done. And you said stop funding them. I don't believe we've continued to fund the program annually because it's never been implemented. So I just was trying to clarify what are you...
Mahalo, Council Member, for that question and asking for the clarification. No, I am not saying not to fund it. I had stated that if it was a nonprofit who have not showed any progress, we as a nonprofit would have gotten our fundings pooled. That's what I had meant, and I had stated. So again, it's not to take away. We do need the funding. We do need the resource for the community. However, why are we not looking at those who were tasked with this kuleana and really hold them accountable and as we're moving forward, ensure that we are doing, that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing? Is that what the county council is supposed to be doing, holding the monies that you guys give on to other people, making sure that they're being held accountable and doing what they said they're doing, and you're giving them the money? Please help me understand if I'm stating that wrong.
I believe that's the point of what this agenda item is today. But the chair. I'll defer to the chair.
Yep. Thank you, Member Bolton. Yeah, that was what the update was about, Ms. Carter.
Yes, and so that's why I'm saying I'm in support of it. However, we do need to hold those who have been tasked with the Kuleana. They need to be held accountable and show results and work with organizations who are already doing the work and working with the population, the unsheltered population.
Mahalo, Ms.
Thank
Carter.
you for your clarification.
Mahalo.
Thank you, and mahalo, Member
Mahalo.
Bolton. Thank you for your testimony. Any other questions for the testifier? Staff, how many more testifiers? We have one more.
Chair,
Yes.
the next and last testifier. Oh,
Thank
sorry.
Go ahead. Thank you for waiting, and mahalo members for staying on a little bit. Thanks for your
Chair.
patience.
Chair, there's someone online that's signed up as well.
It's kind of my fault because I had cold feet when you called my name and I ran out. I still have cold feet. Anyways, I'm glad I sat through all this. I'm going to say two things. First of all, I know really nothing about water, but I know this is one of the wettest places on earth, so I don't know why there's a water problem. And second of all, as far as parking goes, I don't have a car. Can I pitch a tent in a parking spot? And then I might go on to talk about Tent City. Yeah, I mean, I've been denied financial aid, denied from Department of Human Services for physical and mental. By the way, I moved to Lahaina in 2006. Yes, I survived the fire. Yes, I'm homeless. I was not homeless in the beginning of my days in Lahaina. I had a job and I paid rent. Things kind of went down in my life. I couldn't afford rent. I became homeless. And yes, I'm very lucky to be, that I survived the fire, and my heart goes out to, and I miss Lahaina so much. Now I'm stuck over here in Tent City in an industrial, it's like Afghanistan. It's horrible. We hardly have, toilets hardly work, the showers hardly work, the sinks don't work, the food is iffy. And yeah, I mean, I was told to brush my teeth out of bottled water because you can't even trust the water. Anyways, the staff members, and I thank you all for hearing me. This is really hard for me. That's why I can't even look. It's really hard for me. I know everybody tries hard, I know. But then sometimes I think it's hypocrites. I think there's corruption where, you know, where does the money go? We don't know, you know. Every morning I get up, and anyways, it's hard. I just hope the money gets allocated correctly. I want no corruption and, you know, all this money that's donated. I mean, I know I hand-delivered pounds and pounds and pounds of clothes and put it into a container, and nobody has access to those clothes. I don't get it, you know. So anyways, I guess I should be done. Ring the bell.
Okay, thank you. Can you state your name for the record?
Yes, Tina Louise.
Tina Louise.
Tina Louise Marcelino.
Mascalino. Thank you, Tina, for your testimony.
Yeah, and this was really hard for me. I'm not a complainer.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I have a big heart, and I try to be a team player.
Let me check for any questions for you. Members, any questions for Tina? Thank you for joining us and staying on with us.
Thank you for hearing me. Thank
Okay.
you. Oh, I did have one more thing to say. When I was declined financial aid, like my denial letter said I should be capable of having a job, a 30-hour-a-week job. How can I have a job when I can't even hang clothes or take a shower or have a clean, you know, how am I going to hold a nice job when I don't have the amenities to do that? You know, I mean, it's all gravel. You can't wear nice shoes. You can't wear nice clothes. You can't hang your clothes. You can't groom nicely. it's hard to have a job. And so I'm declined financial money. I have nothing. I think that's unfair. But
Thank you for sharing. Staff?
Chair, the next testifier is Stacy Alapai, to be followed by Jessica Lau.
Aloha council members, thank you so much for bringing this up for discussion today because as many have already said, this is a long overdue program. We really need to provide spaces for people to simply exist. And this parking program seems like a really easy to implement common sense solution for the people who are living in their cars to have a safe place to live. And I see this unfortunate trend in both in the administration of criminalizing homelessness, and we've heard this all day today that people are struggling, and we continue to see more people losing their jobs, losing funding, losing access to their housing because of greed. And this, I really hope, I heard that the clarification that it's not the council implementing this, and I do hope that you continue to fund this program, but I just wanted to offer maybe a different strategy that instead of allocating this money to the administration, who has clearly shown that they have no interest in implementing it, to possibly divert that funding to one of these many nonprofits within the Maui Grassroots Collective who are doing this work on the ground. They also recently lost their warehouse where they run their services out of, and now they're trying to find a home for their organization to house themselves so that they continue to provide services out of that hub. And it seems like maybe and I haven't spoken with them about this, but it just seems like maybe there is a solution to also fund this hui of nonprofits who are doing such important work for the forgotten members of our society that this administration continuously tries to criminalize and throw away like they don't exist, and instead use this money to support the people doing the work on the ground and provide a parking lot for people to park in safely. Because if the issue with this not being implemented in the last 2 or 3 years is because of bureaucratic hurdles, that is not a good enough excuse. Like, the people are struggling, and even this parking program is not enough. And if we could just decriminalize the people who are living on the streets in their cars, or finding a place to park, or finding places on the road to just simply live, that would be a big step forward, because criminalizing them isn't solving the problem. It's just pushing them out of sight so that we don't have to look at it anymore. And the further that we push these people into darkness, the worse that things are going to get, not just for them, but for the rest of us. And I just want to remind everybody listening who maybe doesn't have much empathy for these people, that we are all much closer to losing our jobs or being in financial crisis and becoming homeless than we are to being able to afford one of these multi-million-dollar homes. Like, we are all so close to that. We are one catastrophe away from being homeless ourselves, everybody, no matter how financially secure you feel. Mahalo for your time.
Mahalo, Ms. Alapai, for your testimony. Members, any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Staff?
Chair, the next testifier is Jessica Lau, to be followed by Kai McDonald, who's currently the last person signed up.
Aloha, Ms. Lau.
As you guys all know, my name is Jessica Lau. I'm here to testify on the safe parking. You guys probably wondering why I'm standing here. And that's because I stay living down at the harbor. Almost just got served by Troy Abu, 24 hours eviction. I just know where I can go so I can still focus on work, because that's where I gotta go at 2:30. We on a split shift. I work at Temptation Tours, for those of you that have been asking about me. Yeah, I still hold my job through the COVID-19 from July 5th, 2020, all the way until now. I'm just trying to stay above water, just finding a place where I can sleep that is safe. I'm safe at the harbor because I'm on a 3-year protected order from my son's father. It went from 1 year to 3 years. And people at the harbor know me. They know my son's father. I know in my heart they're not gonna just drive by and let this idiot do what he gotta do to me. At the same time, trying to let my dad go with peace, that his daughter will be okay. I'm the youngest. I just like you guys tell me, where can I go? Because I gotta go to work. I have my vehicle done there. They all run. I just have 1 out of the 5. They ask me why I got so much vehicles, because I'm trying to use them for collateral when I go try to put money down on my land, since nobody can find a solution to it. You mean they put the pallet houses up here, then they move them. Where have you guys moved those pallet houses to? Those are for the people that was homeless or unsheltered. You guys gonna have a bigger problem than this. My story is just a story of my experience that I experienced out here in this 4.5 years. I can only imagine those that have been out here 20 years. You guys act like you guys doing something for us, and you guys not, because where can we go? Like right now, I gotta go to work. I'm not gonna lose my job for this, but I'm not gonna lose my property. And you guys can continuously see me. I will continuously testify, because all I can speak is the truth of what's been happening. Yeah, I had Section 8. You know, that's how the confidentiality in Maui County, you don't even stay within the door, because the lady Naomi knew I had Section 8. But I can tell you what would happen with Section 8. They served me a rent repair quit to fight for the people, keep my end of the deal. I paid that rent repair quit, $11.95. I had to owe them nothing. They removed my doors from my home, the daughter-in-law and the son. They take the mail, and I have proof, witnesses. A lot of you guys' decisions was made on my lawsuit that I have against the county of Maui and the mayor. This has nothing to do with what I'm seeking the help for. You know what I mean? I'm seeking the help because I need that help, and you guys act like you guys helping, and you're not. And it's pissing me the hell off, and I'm not gonna lose it, because it's not gonna help. It's nothing that I'm trying to do today in life. But that's what would happen. You guys thought I wasn't gonna pay them, and I did. My correspondence was from me to Family Life Center. I've never spoken to Section 8 by itself like that. It was always me to Family Life Center. So your first source of read on your list is Family Life Center. How can I trust them if what they did, they couldn't even tell me that Section 8 wanted to talk to me? But I turned in all my documents, but that was already passed. Lisa is my witness. When I called for my home inspection, the day they served me the rent to pay or quit, I paid them in 14 days. I don't care about that timer. You guys need to tell me before I leave here, where can I go to put my stuff and I can be safe? If there's gonna be a bathroom, because I'm a member of the Hale, I can shower and I can bathe there and use the restroom there. I wanna know where I can go. Where can I go? You guys been waiting too long. It's been going too long. I just need to know where I can go, because I gotta go to work and I'm not gonna lose my job or anybody.
Mahalo, Ms. Lau, for your testimony. Seeing no questions.
Chair, the next and final person signed up to testify is Kai McDonald.
Aloha, Ms. McDonald.
Aloha. Aloha. My name is Kainoa McDonald, for the record. I'm a program administrator representing Living Way Church Maui. I am in support of the pilot project using county parking lots for human habitation. What is required for maximizing pilot projects like these are collaborative approaches. There have been numerous agencies speaking on this important issues, and they are the boots on the ground serving their community. Pastor Greg De La Cruz and Living Way just celebrated their 22nd anniversary in service to the community of which it serves. We continued in 2024 with over 90,000 meals cooked and distributed, 7,500 meals on a monthly average from Wailuku to Kahului Houseless Community, Homeless Community, Lahaina Esterns Hub, Leali'i, Hawaiian Homes, Kupuna. Kupuna program served well over 40 residents in a transitional housing at the church area, serving much of the local community in weekly box food distribution, up by 75% as of 2023. All the while, little to no funding, and volunteer staff was able to sign up for the federal funding under MEO, under the NDWG, which is, as you all know, has been discontinued. This program provided some economic relief for volunteers who continue to be servant leaders in those communities. In 2025, the future of housing, as we know, will continuously be affected, leaving families constantly questioning to stay or leave their home. As the Maui fire exacerbated the already fragile housing crisis, it is imperative that the community organizations like us work together, form alliances to distribute the work done by the many to support the great need. These are ways of providing a map of success to housing, steps that can be taken and addressed of the homeless. Homelessness, houselessness is not one organization solve all be all. It's an approach, a collaborative approach effort. Living Way Church Maui has taken one of these approaches by partnering with Project Vision Hawaii. Together, we are forging ahead to provide short-term respite housing to meet the demand for those in medical need without the high cost of hospital stays. Kupanaha Respite aims to address the healthcare needs of Maui's unsheltered population. This collaboration will leverage PVH's medical expertise and Living Way Church's transition housing facilities to provide comprehensive care, utilizing Living Way Church Maui staff to support the growing community. In summary, this funding is necessary to implement what can our community do to help the situation we're in. At Living Way, our collective approach is to bring kuleana, the responsibility, ha'a, which is the humility, olu'olu, which is compassion, kaia'ulu, equity, I'm going to wrap up, and kaia'ulu, which is equity, to an otherwise broken system. Let me remind this body that under the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act of 1921, the state of Hawaii, under statehood, has a fiduciary responsibility to provide access to aina, to live, to ranch, to farm, use mercantile purposes, and water. Mahalo nui to this Maui County Council for continuing to consider Hawaiian Home Commission Act beneficiaries in your decision-making. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Ms. McDonald. Members, any questions for Ms. McDonald? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Chair, excuse me, Chair, there's no one signed up to testify currently. Would you like to do a last call?
Yes.
If anyone would like to testify at this time.
Oh, you already, did he testify already?
I testified on the first one, Shane.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
That's the second one. Aloha kakahiaka, aloha ka'ako, aloha akaku. Oval JC Law, thank you. Luna Ho'omolu Sinensi for taking this very sensitive issue in your kamike. As Keani says, words matter. The word homeless is 99% of the time used as derogatory. And I would like to correct, I thank the mayor's administration for being here in the chambers. A lot of people are blaming you guys, but I know who's, I can't pinpoint them, but they're the ones that is ministering all this stuff. So, Ms. Crozier, I heard you say the landowners earlier. It's the land occupiers. Nobody owns the land. We're servants of the land. Even though I know some of y'all, or most of y'all, are not trying to be mean when you say it, in the same spirit as Black History Month, just like we don't use the N word, I'd ask you don't use the H word. I would ask you that you use a different word to describe human beings. I thought we went over this last year. I'll give you two words, no mohale, which I made that one up. It's kind of pigeon, or domicilis. The Hawaiian word of the day, na ho'opi'i, accusations. I want to correct the one previous testifier when they accused the upcountry representative. Aloha, Yukile, Sugimura, come back safe. Doing nothing is sometimes more better than doing the wrong thing on this issue. Speaking of accusing, in our town, Waiakoa, Kulauka, there are two churches, and they're only using the land half of the time at the most. In the American Civil War, the church buildings were used as hospitals. Since January 17, 1893, we've been at war with the United States. I want to thank the Baptist Church on Molokai, Ho'omaikai. Standard disclaimer, 9 out of 10 people that go to church on weekends is good, and I'll reserve the rest of my time for the followers of Queen Liliuokalani.
Hello, Mr. Law. Members, any questions for Mr. Law? Seeing none. Thank you. Staff?
Chair, no one else has signed up to testify. If anyone would like to testify, please make yourself known now by approaching the podium or raising your hand on Teams. Chairs, seeing no one, there's a countdown, 3, 2, 1.
Members, without objections, we'll close public testimony at this time. Thank you.
No objections.
You can testify only once. Yeah. Okay, so members, moving on to discussions. We did have a tabled question about executive orders from the state for possible properties. Who would you like to direct that to? Mr. Jackson?
I guess all of our resources, if anyone could answer it, because
we have several resources on. We have Ms. Sullivan.
there's cars parked there right now, and it's a parking lot.
This is in Napili.
It's kind of like the Honokowai area, sideways to the breakers, abutting the highway. It's a whole parking area that has cars. I don't know how those cars had permission to park there, but it's been there since, like, I can look up the TMK, but many years before 2022. And I mean, do we know all the parking lots the county owns? Like, why is it so hard? I just
Crozier?
found it.
So I was actually out there looking at that parking lot. I would have to ask Director Suhako again why it wasn't available to be used for safe parking.
Well, it's being used for safe parking because there's all those cars there that aren't getting vandalized or anything, but it's not part of a program.
Right, I agree. So that's why I was out there taking pictures and looking at that to be a possible site. But I think the way it's, hopefully Director Suhako is still on, that she can help me, something about turning into off the state, going into the highway, going into that parking lot was a problem.
I guess it wasn't a problem for all the cars that are parked there now, but I mean, who determines it's a problem? They're begging for a safe place to park, and if
that was
it's
one of them
limited
on our inventory.
access, then it's safer.
So I'm going to agree with you. So I'd have to ask administration on that.
Director Suhako, do you want to add? I know we've talked about this property before. Do you want to add a little bit about the history of what's been done there?
Thank you. Councilmember Paulton, thank you for your question. I am familiar with the parcel that you identified earlier. It was granted by executive order to the county for the stated purpose of affordable housing. Years and years ago, during the Tavares administration, there was actually a proposed affordable housing development that was to be built there. As the developer did their due diligence to further move their housing project along, it was determined that there was a problem with not being able to access the Honoaupilani Highway from that parking lot because of the rate of traffic. And after further work with the proposed developer, it was determined. I'm sorry, may I go on, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Thank you. After further review with the proposed developer, it was determined that the parcel was not appropriate for affordable housing because it was also landlocked and people would have to go through the parking lot of the existing condominiums. And therefore, no affordable housing was pursued on that parcel. And in fact, prior to the fire, the department had engaged in conversations with DLNR and had begun the process of trying to return the property to the state because the stated purpose of building affordable housing could not be done there. So that's the status of that property right now.
We're not talking about affordable housing. We're just talking about a safe place to park. And then if that's the case, who are all the people that are parking there and who gave them permission and how did they access it? There's access from the lower road. And in the state of Hawaii, landlocked parcels are granted easement across other properties. So, I mean, Tavares administration was so long ago and only things got worse since then. You cannot readjust. It's not affordable housing. cars can be temporary modular homes, you know? And if we can't be creative with the lands that we own or have authority over, then we really are SOL with this administration.
Hello, Member Paulton. Members, any other questions for our resources? We also have Ms. Sullivan as well as we designated
Ms. Brown is also online.
Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown, we did have a question for you. How much is your the cost of your safe parking per year?
Hi, yeah. So originally, when we started our pilot program, it was about 1.3 million. We're projecting a budget of 1 million for fiscal year 25-26.
Per year? Okay.
Per year.
Okay, thank you for that. We have a question from Member Kama.
Thank you, Chair. So thank you for being here. Forgot her name. Miss Santa Rosa, I'm gonna call her.
Ms. Brown.
Miss Brown. So what is the population of the county of Santa Rosa?
Are you asking about persons experiencing homelessness specifically?
No, I was asking what the population of the city of Santa Rosa is.
Good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I can look it up.
Okay.
Looks like it's about 175,000.
Like us.
Yeah. And your the people who live in the city, what is their ethnicity composed of?
I don't have that information available.
Okay. Okay, Chair. Thank you.
Mahalo, Member Kama. Member Hudgens.
Thank you, Chair. I actually have a question for you. So considering it's 12:34, we do have another committee in an hour. What's your plans? Are you going to defer this and schedule this? Because I would love to talk about it, but we didn't really have an opportunity
Thank
to
you
do
for bringing it up. Yes, we'll definitely defer this if there are no objections or no, any further questions, and we can have a longer discussion. Member Paulton?
No, go ahead.
Sorry. I don't have an objection, but can we transmit in writing, like, who are the people parking there? Who gave them permission? Why we can't have, people park there if there's, it doesn't seem fair that some people are taking advantage of the safe parking without a program and others cannot. Like, who's managing that land? What has been done since the Tavares administration? Just following up for the next time we have the meeting.
Staff, you got that information? Yes. Thank you. Pro Tem Kama.
So, and my question is to you, Chair. If the land was given over to the county through an EO, and because we're not going to be using it for the stated reason that we're supposed to use it for, could that EO not be amended to use it for something else? So could we write that over to the state?
Staff. Okay. Member
Like,
Sugimura.
by something else, you mean a safe parking program? Yeah.
Member Sugimura.
Yeah, thank you. Could you ask the Department of Human Services, which is state, to also come when you take this up again, because a lot of the testifiers are talking about state and Project Vision, and that whole discussion is part of the 10th city, and it's not the county, but there seems to be some misunderstanding.
My apologies.
For clarification.
I tried to keep it at the agenda item, but it strayed on several times to the state. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, members, if there are no other questions, again, mahalo to all of our resources. Thank you for everybody who stayed up or stayed with us all this morning. Thank you to Director Suhako, Ms. Crozier, Mr. Jackson, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Sullivan, and for attending this meeting, providing the public with more information on this topic. Again, members, no objections to deferring this item to next time. Thank you for your
No objections.
questions. Mahalo, members, and thank you for staying on late, listening to everyone's mana'o nui. And with that, the WASSP committee.
Chair.
Oh, go ahead. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. I just wanted to make a quick correction on the earlier item that I said that the INB approved Dr. Scheuer. I misspoke. Staff contacted me I spoke with staff over the recess, and they said that they missed their deadline. And so that was it was just that they were giving us notice that they were aware of it and that they missed their deadline. Mahalo, Chair, for letting me correct the record before we adjourn.
And thank you for
Chair Nancy,
updating
is it
us.
possible for me to give some thought process for the next time that you guys meet, just from the discussion?
She was also, Ms. Linda was designated a resource too. Go ahead.
I just wanted to do two things. One, I think that we get stuck on the county looking for county-owned properties, and one of the easiest venues is to look for partnership with privately owned and partners like DHHL and other areas where there is less of the bureaucracy involved. And I think that should have some prioritization in looking at partnerships like that. And then the second thing would be that when we look, maybe we can ask Director Suhaku to provide the council with specific policies and current charter or policies that direct and are hindering safe parking zone and these kinds of projects, so that the council can look at creating bills and resolutions that will help to be more consistent with what is necessary for the progression in our population of unsheltered. Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Lindo. I would definitely contact the Commission on Homelessness and Healing Solutions. Thank you for that. Okay, members, with that, this meeting is now adjourned. It's 12:39.